Minus 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay. Rap your city. Let me see the mic. Rap your city. Give me the mic. Rap your city. I got you. Rap your city. I'm gonna tell you how mine. Rap your city.
It's time for us to go live, so rep your city. I really would appreciate if y'all roll with me. Feeling this music cause it makes me wanna step. And if you don't want it to, then you lying to yourself. Cause every time we party, we gon' have fun. I don't know about you, but I'ma rep where I'm from.
Rap your city. Okay. Rap your city. Let me see the mic. Rap your city. Give me the mic. Rap your city.
Welcome to the RYC Live show this evening. I am Artistic, your host for tonight, and this is Rep Your City Fresh Fridays. Welcome, everyone. It's a little breezy or a little cool. Clean the camera off a little bit there. It's a little cool here in the windy city of Chicago, but everyone that's tuning in tonight, tell us where you're checking in from throughout the segment tonight. We definitely have a special show tonight, and we encourage everyone as you tune in, don't just check in, but leave a comment, engage with us tonight. Leave some questions and comments on tonight's show, and let us know where you checking in from if you're not checking in from Chicago. All right. So it's Friday, and also, hey, listen, much shout out to everyone that made it to see the new year. We are in 2023, so welcome to 2023, everyone. Congratulations. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of things in plan and in store for us this year, and I'm looking so forward to it. Real quick, for those that have not done so, if you have not done so already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Send us an email to ryclive@yahoo.com. I'm sorry, that's ryclive@yahoo.com. Send us an email if you'd like to be a future guest on a future show, and someone from the team will be more than happy to get back to you. Also, you can make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, RYC Live. That's RYC Live on our YouTube channel. We thank you for all those who have been subscribing to the channel. Our numbers have been going up with subscribers, so we appreciate that. But also follow us on Facebook, RYC Live or Rep Your City. You can send us a friend request or follow us on either one of those pages. And also you can check us out on Instagram as well, RYC Live. Once again, Rep Your City. So this is the Fresh Friday Night Show, and we're here each and every Friday night to the best of our ability. We broadcast right here from the main office in Chicago, but we circulate throughout the world. And I want to send a shout out to my team, Mr. RYC Live himself, Lady Alicia. And, and as you all know, we've been constantly talking about growing and developing our team, and we're still doing that. And so if you're interested and would like to become a member of this team here on this platform and all the things that we do, definitely reach out to us. Once again, you can send us an email. You can reach out to us directly, myself or Mr. RYC Live, and we can talk about it. This is, once again, for those that may not know, this is 50 years that we're celebrating hip hop. For those that may not know, around the world, 2023 is the year that we're stamping in the cement to celebrate 50 years of hip hop. So tonight, with that being said, we have none other than my main man and brother, the one and only, and some of you all may know him and some of you all may not, But the key to this show tonight, and as we continue to do this segment every Friday, is to get people to learn about the history and the legacies behind the artists, specifically from Chicago. Now, we interview people and discuss and talk with other people from other cities around the world. But ideally, we try to be, cognizant of highlighting the artists here from Chicago. And this is a brother who is from Chicago, from the South Side, and his list is so long. It's difficult to try to cram it all in one segment. But at least tonight we'll give you a little portion, a little taste, in my opinion, of what this brother has done, who he is as an artist and as a person and as a friend, as a father, as a son, as a neighbor. He has a lot of great gifts. He's done a lot of great things for many, many, many years. Been in the game for many, many years. Wears a lot of hats still to this day, even in 2023. He's an MC. He's a DJ. He's a writer. He's a videographer. He's a filmmaker. He's an activist. A lover of hip hop. He's a trendsetter. He's an international recording artist. He has done so many things, working with the youth, working with organizations here in Chicago, such as the Legends of Chicago Hip Hop, the Chirac Nation, even earlier as back in the day, in the 80s, organization, one of the first here in Chicago, entitled Purple Mansion. And so he's built a repertoire of so many great things and brought together so many people and so many great gifts. Also, currently, the newest invention, because this guy continues to create, is the Chicago Ill Cipher. So that's a new project. And, this platform that we're on right now is a creation of his, so it's on and on and on. The man just continues to create and create and create. And I just want to say, before I bring him on, I'm thankful and proud to be his partner, to be his friend, to be his brother, to be his neighbor. I know that we've done some great things just in a couple of past years, but we've been knowing each other since the 80s. And tonight, I feel honored. I feel privileged to be able to sit here and talk to him and discuss his history, his contributions, and all the wonderful things that he's planning on doing in the next near future. So without further ado, my man, my brother, the legend himself, Mr. Club Banga.
What's up, my brother?
Welcome to the RYC Live show.
What's up, man? This is kind of awkward a little bit because it's like I already been here before, you know what I'm saying? But
yes.
Before we get off into everything, man, thank you so much for that introduction, man. When people start to acknowledge me, or just in general, acknowledgments, man, means so much, man. So when you actually have someone, man, that has followed you along the way and things of that nature, man, and then they, such as yourself, man, can just speak on a little, not even a lot, but just a little bit of someone's history, man, it kind of puts you in a humbling place, So, man, I'm very honored to have you, my brother, to even interview me on the RYC Live show. And, again, acknowledgments are a beautiful thing, man. To be given your flowers while you can smell them is a wonderful thing. So again, thank you for that introduction. And man, let's just go ahead and get down.
Word up. So do us a favor, everyone that's tuning in. Please do share once again this broadcast. We'd like for you to share this because, again, this is all about our legacy. At the end of the day, we want people to know what we have done, what we are doing, and what we're planning on doing in the future. So take some time to share this broadcast, send it to a friend, to a family, to a crewmate, so that they can watch it live And please engage with us. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to send that to us in the comment area. So it's good to see you, my brother. You're looking good. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
I'm glad
Thank
we made it to see another year.
you.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? That's a blessing in itself.
Yes,
And
it is.
so I want to get off into some questions, man. I mean, I'm sure any of you that have questions, again, feel free to ask those questions. But I was just as I was observing, your history, again, it really makes me feel good to just know you because I'm a big fan of Chicago hip hop. I'm a fan of hip hop, period. But I'm a very big fan of Chicago hip hop. And as I continue to learn more and more about our artists here, right here from the city in which I come from, it's really, heartwarming to see some of the things that we've done that some people may or may not even know about. And like I'm looking through your stuff, I'm looking through it, I'm analyzing it, I'm just like, it's almost like, almost to some degree, like looking and studying and learning about somebody that how most people look and read about people that they don't even know, and
Right.
and let alone get a chance to meet. So sometimes I think we need to really like take that in and just kind of like try to think like what does that even mean? Sometimes we try not to give each other credit, but we should stop that. Like
Yeah.
it's good to have friends and know what they've done and recognize their contributions, man. And I gotta say, your resume is very polished. It's very polished. You know what I'm saying? It's a good example for others to work on if they want to. If you guys out there and girls out there want to polish your resumes, this brother right here is one that you can really take note from. And I just feel good, man. It's just like So I want to go back because sometimes when you talk about people and what they've done, you kind of may even make you want to think like, well, what was their parents like? Where did they get this? How did they become who they are? So can we talk a little bit about your parents right now?
My parents, thank God, giving God the glory, and just thankful. I'm so thankful and grateful that they're still here, where they can still receive their flowers. Uh, my mother, man, like for me to just be the seeds of both, man, are like these two people, man, they created me, and they are humorous, man. They're loving. They're very talented, man. And so all of that instilled into who I am, man. But they always encourage me to do my thing. My mother, you know, when she was younger, she used to sing in the choir, and she used to actually lead sing most of the time. She was the lead singer of the choir, and then she would be singing them hymns throughout the house, man, when she would cook and clean and stuff like that, man. And even even when I joined the church, I got into the choir, and we would be singing together, my mom, sister, and I. But then also my dad, he was a local DJ, uh, and he went by the name of Too Sweet in the Mix Lee. That was his name. And uh, he just had records, man, just all over the crib, man. And so it was destined for me to be in music, man. Just him DJing and my mom singing. So my parents, I love them to death, man. Just two beautiful human beings, man, who created this special individual who we're interviewing today. So I love my parents, and if you all are watching right now, um, here I am right here, and I'm giving you your flowers like I always do, but I'm giving you some electronic flowers here via the internet. So
Okay.
those are my parents. I love them to death, man, and I'm just so thankful to God that they're still here with me, bro.
So I'm going to show a picture here, and could you just, as they look at this picture, can you tell the full names of your parents here?
Well, I'm just that is Miss Mary and Mr. Leon. We'll tell you that's my beautiful mother and my dad right there. And
Nice.
that's what they currently look like. Right there. I
Nice.
love that picture. I'm the photographer behind that picture, and we was out having brunch that day. So yeah,
Nice.
that's my heart right there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. So, and it kind of makes a lot of sense, at least in my opinion, when you talk about the skill set that your mom and your dad had, with your mom singing and your dad, being a DJ, it's obvious, them coming together and forming a union to create you, and then you becoming who you have become. It
yeah,
just,
yeah.
it just makes sense.
And and most everybody who came up back in the days when we would be, doing our thing on the block, which I'm sure we're gonna get around to that. Everybody would call her Mama JMD.
Okay.
That's what they would call her, Mama JMD.
Nice.
Yes, yes,
Nice.
yes.
So let's talk about, you're born and raised here in Chicago, correct?
That's correct.
So where did you where, let's because I want people to really take this in and observe this as we take them on this timeline stretch. You know, uh, born and raised, where did what was your first community here in Chicago? Because I know you had a few at least.
Well, uh, I was like right there, the dividing line between what they would say Gresham and Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Grew up on 76 and Morgan. That's kind of like where it all began right there. Uh, and then, over the years, I end up moving more so in the heart of Inglewood.
Okay.
But yeah, it all started right there on 76 and Morgan, right there on the south side of Chicago, man. And in the basement, and I mean, if you care for me to just go ahead on, or do you want to just ask the questions and then I'll go and answer as you ask, or you just want me to give it all freely to you from
Let's
from that particular point?
let's talk a little bit about that particular dwelling on 76 and Morgan, because unfortunately I never got a chance to visit you when you were living there. But
You missed out, man.
I missed out, man, and
You missed out, brother.
I've heard stories, and I've heard people share experiences, and so for those that may not have gotten a chance to come during the time you were there, can you tell us like what was that like during that time when you were living there for you coming up?
So all right, so right right in the mix of all of that during that particular time, I was more into the DJing part. Okay. I was kind of like watching my dad and watching him do his thing, and then certain things he was still trying to figure out, like the scratching and stuff like that. And I kind of already, after a certain period of time, I found out the correct way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So but during that time, I was DJing and doing
Okay.
production. I had wrote a few rhymes or what have you, but again, it was more so DJing and making beats. So actually, in grammar school, in our sixth grade, our first time ever sock hop, we had at Oglesby, and with me having my first piece of equipment, I asked if I could DJ, and they was like, yeah. So that even made it cool, man. I had my own equipment and stuff like that. So from that point, I was DJing and things like that. And from there, I didn't even really know how that was going to turn out, because, again, that was our first ever sock hop at Oglesby. But everybody had such a great time. And me thinking the way that I think, I'm like, well, man, maybe I need to start having parties at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was talking about how great of a turnout in time that they had. So what I did was I started to throw parties in the basement of my home with that same component. Now, it wasn't the two turntables like how it is now. It was like one of them stereos where you had the two tape decks, and then inside of the box you had the turntable, and then you had the detachable speakers. And I would turn the knob, because the knob on there was like radio, uh, uh, cassette, turntable. So I would have a record on playing on top in the box while the what happened there? Okay. While the while the cassette player was playing, the cassette was playing, the record was also playing, but you can hear it only if you turn the record, only if you turn the knob to record or phono or however it was, right? So I would always, my hand was quick, so I had to turn the knob to make so you can hear the scratch. So I would turn it to the record player where you can hear the, and then it'd go back to the cassette. You know what I'm saying? So I was and then turn back. So I started scratching a lot. So people's like, oh, yeah, that's what's up. So I started. Long story short, I started having these parties in the basement. And then they just started to just grow every week. Moms would let me, she always wanted to keep her eye on me, close eye on me. So she knew that as long as I was in the basement, I was cool.
Okay.
So I was, I would get some index cards and I would write, party Friday, and invite friends and stuff like that. So not only, it wasn't just a hit, it was house parties at the time. I was doing house parties. And then those house parties eventually turned into hip hop parties. And then as the word really got out, we would go to HBK and we would make the announcement. I would make the announcement that I was having a party or meeting or sleepover or whatever. But it was at the house of 76 and Morgan in the basement, man, where we had sleepovers, kickbacks. That's what they call it now. Kickbacks, parties. Name it, we did it. Plays, we would skate in the basement. Like I had a big basement. So that was 7620 Morgan was the place to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody came over to the crib and they, like I said, they all called Mama JMD, and anybody that was doing hip hop pretty much on the south side of Chicago, Def Rock, Crush Posse, Purple Mansion, everybody would just come over to the crib because we just made it a party. So, man, I wish you could have been there, my brother. I wish anybody who was really into the movement, knew about it and was able to come. But for those who didn't, y'all really missed out on some great memories, some great parties, kickbacks, sleepovers. We did the whole nine, man. So.
Wow.
Full of memories, that place, and in the near future, if I can buy that place, if I can buy that 2-flat apartment, I'm going to do just that. But a lot of memories in that place, man. And I could take up the whole interview just talking about all the memories that we had. But long story short, man, for those who didn't have the chance to party, y'all just missed some hell of a party, some hell of a everything that we did, even the things I can't talk about.
Right. So let's do this. We know that, at least some of us know, that you wear a lot of hats, but you also have a lot of titles. You have a lot of titles and you have a lot of names, okay, that you've accumulated over the years. So I was trying to put this in some kind of sequential order. But I definitely need your help. So, let's go back, because I know, like you said, you were in the beginning, you had mentioned to me that you went under the name Scratch King. So Dion Scratch King Coney back in the early days, right? So, which is interesting, because I feel like, even though sometimes we kind of look back and we're like, oh, that was whack, sometimes we don't even want to put it out there no more because, it's so early on. But I feel that all of any of our beginnings are just as important as what we're doing today, because it's like our foundation, you know. But, when you begin to take on the identity of JMD, I kind of want to get into that with the viewers so that they can understand why you came up with that name and what was the significance of it to you.
Okay. Well, again, as you just mentioned, that first name was, Dion Scratch King Coney, because like I said, during the time I had that component set and I was just scratching. That's all I was doing, was just scratching. But from that point moving forward, there was a group called the Hot Mix 5. And, Farley, Funk and Keith, before he was Farley Jack Master Funk, he was Farley Funk and Keith, Mickey Mix and Oliver, Kenny Jam and Jason, Ralphie Rock and Rosario, and Scott Smoke and Seals. All right. So when I heard, my favorite DJ at that time was kind of like Farley, but then Mickey Mixon Oliver was like my man too. You know what I'm saying? I just love the way he was just bringing records in, just and me trying to envision what that was like, not knowing that it was all edits. So I'm thinking like, man, this guy is so cold. Like he's playing this, like he's every 5 seconds, he's literally in my mind thinking he's putting a record on and changing it. And like, I'm like, man, he's the best. And
Right.
until later, I found out again it was all in editing, but also Farley, Funk, and Keith. So, when Farley didn't stay too far from where I used to live. He literally stayed on 76 and Green during the time. So I kind of like, you know, he was like my idol. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. Okay, Farley, Funk, and Keith. Okay, Beyond Scratch King Coney. Okay, but then he changed his name to Farley Jack Master Funk. And when he changed his name to Farley Jack Master Funk, I changed my name to Jack Master Dion. Okay, so Jack Master Dion. That was my DJ name. All right. So now, from that point, that was me DJing. But then I wanted to get back into the rapping part. You know, I'm DJing, I'm doing my thing. But then all of a sudden, as I'm DJing, I'm looking at the vinyl and I'm like, man, I've always loved to record. So I'm like, man, I wonder how people get their voice on this vinyl. You know, so I'm like, man, you know, I'm going to be looking into trying to get my voice on this vinyl. So JMD came from Curtis Blow. Okay, Curtis Blow was like one of the records that my dad used to play. Okay. And, you know, I'm like, man, you know, that rap is cool. The breaks. I'm like, yeah, breaks, you know. So I started on the opposite side of that record, it was the instrumental. So I used to write freestyle to it, and then I started writing. And then from that point, when I took it to school and I bust one of the rhymes, then they was like, oh man, okay, that's slick. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to change the name. I wanted to keep it as close as possible because I was doing two different things at that time. I was DJing, but then all of a sudden I started rhyming. Okay. And I started taking rhyming a little bit more serious. So I'm like, man, you know, how can I still be identified as, you know, Jack Master Dion, but when I rhyme, I don't want to be called Jack Master Dion when I rhyme. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, and I was thinking about how I can make that happen. So one day I heard EPMD, Eric and Paris making dollars. So I'm like, you know, Eric and Paris making dollars. I'm like, okay, that's MD. And then I was like, okay, JMD. Okay, Jack Master Dion. But I can be JMD and then EPMD. And so it all just started to come together. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And then so the J, I was like, I couldn't think of nothing to put with the J. So I just said just. I'm like, well, I'm just making dollars. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making dollars. Okay, that'll work. So that's how I end up using the acronym JMD originally, because it was Jack Master Dion, but I still didn't want to be called Jack Master Dion as an MC. So when I heard EPMD, I'm like, that fit more of the acronym to JMD, just making dollars. So that's kind of like how that was born. Wow. Yeah. Can you imagine a MC, man? That's Jack Master Dion. You know, Jack Master. That Jack Master was kind of like a thing for the house heads. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, when I'm DJing, I'll be Jack Master Dion. But when I'm holding the mic and I'm rhyming, I'm JMD, just making dollars. Nice. So that's how that came about.
That's dope. That's dope. Hey, let's do this. Let's actually take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to show some images of your early days as JMD. So you all are watching the RYC Live show. This is Rep Your City Fresh Fridays. My name is Artistic, and we have our producer, Mr. RYC Live himself, aka Mr. Club Banga, right here in the building with us. And we will be right back. So let's take a few moments and we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
get a battle.
Bruce Lee in the mix, right here, RYC Live. Tell me, I did not just beat him.
You're pretty good.
Welcome back to the RYC Live show this evening. This is Rep Your City Fresh Fridays, and I am your host for tonight. My name is Artistic, and we have in the building Mr. RYC Live himself, aka Mr. Club Banga. But right now, we're going back to some history about JMD. So, you know, man, it was a challenge to kind of take on these different identities that you display, you know, because when I met you, you was JMD. And I think it might be, I'm sure that it's a challenge for some others sometime when they get to talking to you and you tell them, hey, you know, I'm Mr. Club Banger. And then they just like, nah, I mean, you know.
And you're like, nah, man, you JMD, man. You're going to always be JMD, bro. You're going to always be JMD, yeah.
You know, but, you know, I have this picture right here of you, man. It's one of my favorites, you know, classic pictures of you, you know, and, you know, this kind of really represents the time when, you know, we were, you know, in thoroughbreds into hip hop, you know, with the track suits and the boom boxes and things of that nature. And, you know, can you explain to the viewers what this particular, the day you took this picture and how was you feeling it at the time and what was going on for you in your life during that time in hip hop when this photo was taken?
Well, during that time, I was going to Inglewood, and I believe it may have been on lunch break. You know, we would leave for about an hour, and man, we would run over to my buddy's house. They were twins. They were like house heads,
Okay.
but they also loved hip hop. So, you know, I took my box over to the house. Matter of fact, they were holding the box because I couldn't take the box to school. So I went over to their crib, and we would actually, man, just mix for that hour lunch break. If we weren't battling, if did no sucker MCs come up to the school and we had to battle, you know what I'm saying? It was like I made use of my lunchtime, you know, and even if I was in the lunchroom, bro, like it was hip hop. It was you know, we was either beating on the tables, having hip hop in the lunchroom, like I say, battling in the front of the school, but or like I say, we would be going over to my buddy's crib that stayed literally right around the corner, a half a block away from the school. So again, music, man, was just, I would cut class sometimes too. I'm not gonna lie, cut class, man. Anything that was pertaining to like rhymes or hip hop, rhyming or hip hop, man, I was like, okay, forget class. I'm finna go and do some. We about to go get it in. Who all in, and we'll go. So we'll go wherever that place was, you know.
Right.
Especially if there was some hip hop stuff going on during school hours. So that picture again was taken over the twins' house, Darrell and Daryl.
Nice.
And You know, that day, man, I just felt good. You know, I had as you can see, I had my JMD, because back then I didn't wear the apparel. I didn't wear name brand. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to wear my stuff. You know what I'm saying? I wore JMD on my hats. You know, on my jogging suits. I made sure on purpose that I would go get any apparel that didn't have any brand on it, and I would go up to this place called Frank's on 79th, right by 79th and Austin, and we would get some iron-on letters, and I would iron JMD on practically everything that I own. You know, my apparel, even put it on my shoe. I glued, stenciled, and did some things like that on my shoes. But again, as far as that picture is concerned, you know, that was a day that I was just feeling good, man. I was rocking my fresh JMD apparel. I had my radio, man, and we was doing some hip hop that day, man, and I just felt good. So that picture really bring back memories, man, and one of my favorite as well. So that's what's to that picture there.
You know, it's interesting. Here's another one, but you know, it's interesting because I never really thought of it like that. That you know, you were trying to really rock your own gear. Now, here's a hat, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago. You know how you had your letters on there. You know, JMD right there on the cap. You know, and your radio, your picture. And you know, for us as hip hoppers, you know, like fashion was very important to us. You know, obviously, many of us, we did wear other brands of clothing that were made by other companies, but you know, from time to time, some of us would try to stick out and create something of our own. And so for you, that's interesting that you say that you were trying to focus more on, making sure that you were kind of branding, you rocking your own brand, so to speak. You know, even back then at that early age.
And see, and the thing was, that's just the way my mind would operate then and even now. You know, it was just branding. It was just about being creative, and even on that photo, if you look on the top of that photo, or on the top of the radio, and that's that's my other big radio. So it's not the same one in that first picture. That's a different one there. So okay. I had two boom box, but on the top of that, if you can see it, there's a chain, but there's also a belt buckle with JMD that I attached to the chain.
Yes.
So I used to wear it around my waist with my belt, but then I said, hey, I think what inspired me to even do that was when Flavor Flav started rocking a clock on his rope, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, so I can actually rock my belt buckle, so I put my belt buckle and connected it to the chain. But yeah, man, branding, I was doing that back in the days, man. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to rep myself, you know what I'm saying? And then on the front of the shoes, that was actually snake skin, and I actually cut out the lettering, you know what I'm saying? Traced the stencil and cut the lettering out on a snake skin and put it on the tip of my shoes, man. So
wow.
Yeah, it was JMD, man, all the way.
Wow.
I even wrote a rhyme about those things that I used to do and wear. I used to wear silver nuggets, JMD on my hat. So I'm like, man, let me make a song about that. And it went a little something like this. I was chilling the max, I sport that. Now, all of this is what I did. Chilling the max, I sport Dax, busting hard on my tracks, fresh dress with silver nuggets and my name on my hats. Beware who I am, I'm the rhyming dictionary, JMD, that's right, it's me, I'm not imaginary. My adversaries are scary, Jerry, so tell Terry Harry's married, how dare he compare me when it's not necessary. My advice that I'm giving, take it to use. My name is not Bruce, I'm about to let loose, don't give me a boost, I got my juice. And that was something that I came up with, man, back in 1984.
Wow.
84. Wow. And I don't recall, and I'm just going to put it out there. And back in 84, I don't recall anyone doing, my name is not Bruce, I'm about to let loose, don't give me a boost. I don't recall anybody with that style then.
Right.
But as time went on, that style developed amongst different different other artists, you know, Das Effects, the Fushnikins, Twister. Salute to my dog, the legend himself.
Yes, sir.
One of the best, if not the best, to ever do it. So shout out to Tongue Twister, Cavalier, you know, all of the names that he represented. So yeah. Man. See, now we going back, man. I'm feeling good now, man. Come on, give it to me. Let's go.
Hey, we got Mike R checking in. He said got the stack of singles.
Oh yeah. Now you know, y'all know where the singles came from. The singles came from Rocking the L's. You know what I'm saying? Right after Rocking the Lines. You know, I'm like, man, I'm feeling good. Let me lay this out. You know, I had a poster size of myself. I was really branding myself, man, and didn't even really know to the capacity of where. I can only imagine if I had been consistent from that point up until now, man, I would be the Todd ones and the Sean John. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's not to say it's not going to happen. But I'm just saying that was before a lot of folk who are or do have their brand apparel. You know, it was before. Only person I think back then that was really doing it was kind of like LL, right? Todd one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mike R say the personalized apparel is fresh.
You already know, you know what I'm saying? You gotta brand yourself. You feel me?
All right. That's and then we got another person checking in. He said salute CT. What is that? Commander Illinois. Oh, is that True Son checking in?
No, that's the one and only True Son. Salute to you, legend. That's the one and only True Son.
That's what I thought.
You know, God, from Killer Noise. Salute to that brother, man. He's another one of the legends, man, that's been out here, man, doing this thing, man. So I want to salute all my legends, man, that done it in the past and who's still doing it now. You know, Man, I salute to you, man. Keep going, bro. It don't stop till the casket drop. Keep doing it.
That's what's up. Here's another classic picture, real quick, of you. You know, and you could definitely tell this is in the hood somewhere. Can you talk just a little bit about this photograph from back then?
That photo was taken at Inglewood High School on the sidewalk area, and I was actually rhyming. And the young lady who you see in the picture, I'm going to try to make a story as brief as possible about that young lady. But she was like one of my biggest fans. Her name is Bebe. And she was standing up there with her arms crossed because she was she was representing like she was E-Love. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was a picture of me right there in action with the silver nuggets on my nuggets and my hats and stuff like that.
Right.
But let me tell you something that was really bizarre. It was scary. Let me say that. It was kind of scary. That young lady, I hadn't seen that young lady since that picture or a little bit after that picture. That picture was taken a long time ago.
Right.
But just recently, I was driving in the parking lot of Food for Less. And there was two girls walking across. So of course I stopped because they had their buggy and they were approaching the car. But when she walked past, I had a flashback of Bebe. I'm like, oh, hell no. Bebe, that can't be Bebe because, you know what I'm saying? That means she done found the fountain of youth because she ain't aged a bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I had to just roll down my window and I asked the young lady, I'm like, look, I just had to stop you. I ain't trying to flirt with you, nothing like that. I just needed to stop you because I just had a moment. And she was like, well, what? I say, you look just like, and I mean, identical. You look just like this female that I went to school with named Bebe. And you know what she said?
What?
She said, Bebe, that's what they call my mama. My mama named Bebe.
Wow.
And I'm like, no. I say, well, wait a minute. I say, this Bebe I'm talking about went to Inglewood. She was like, my mama went to Inglewood. Her name Bebe. And then I went into the age and she said, yeah, she was like, that's my mama. I'm like, never, that ain't your mama. She was like, that's my mama. So she called her mother on the phone and say, mama, It's this guy that said that I look just like you, and his name is, and I told her my name was JMD, and she was like, I know JMD, and I heard, and she gave me the phone, and I'm like, hello, and she was like, JMD, I'm like, baby. I'm like, oh hell no! It freaked me out, bro, because I'm like, look, I just had a flashback. Your daughter, look, you just spit your daughter out. She looked just like how you used to look back in the days. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just had to ask her, just had to tell her that she remind me of this person named Bebe, and for her to tell me that that was you were her mother. I'm like, oh, so that was kind of freaky. But at the same time, man, you know, I don't put nothing past God the way He worked. But
Yeah.
and that was just recently. So I'm talking about over a long time ago. I try not to put years out there, you know, even though this is an interview, you know what I'm saying? But man,
Yeah.
bro, that right there, bro, I would never ever forget that. I wish I could have reached out to her and told her about this interview. We could have had her pop in, you know, but hey, baby, when I'm gonna share this interview with you. Yeah.
And here's another one, and I just want you to kind of like highlight a little bit about what the school represented. But Inglewood, right there, bam, you know.
Damn.
Let's let people know, for those that may not be familiar, like, you know, what was Inglewood High School like when it came to Chicago hip hop?
It was, in my opinion, man, it was the base. It was the base for Chicago hip hop because as I got familiar with the classmates, the students who went to Inglewood, man, I found out that there were a lot of hip hop B-boys and B-girls that went to Inglewood, man, whether they was pop locking, break dancing, rapping, graffiti writing, man. It was like, man, I started to see it, and it's like you recognize who hip hop, because hip hop, you know, just in the way that you dress, you know, it was different from the average person dressing. So you can identify somebody who was hip hop just based off how they dressed. So I would go, you know, to them like, man, you hip hop? What you, yeah, you know, what you do? You know, I draw, I break dance and stuff like that. So I actually started to see more hip hoppers in Inglewood, to the point where, you know, we would meet up, you know, just get acquainted with one another. And it was a lot of us. When I tell you a lot, it was a lot.
Okay.
So from that point, you know, those who were rhyming, you know, we had to stand our ground and kind of just get our ranking in as far as, you know, battling. So we did some battles amongst each other until we got tired of battling each other, and then we wanted to, you know, battle schools and so forth and so on. So then that went off into, you know, getting a name for us all collectively, and then Purple Mansion was birthed. You know, we tried to think of some names, and that's one of my specialties, coming up with names. And I just kept coming up with a name to try to represent us all collectively. And the one that stuck was Purple Mansion. And, you know, and the reason why that name stuck is because to me, it was the perfect name, because in my opinion, the school looked like a mansion. It just didn't look like your typical school. This is when they started, you know, to build the development of the schools that they were building was a little different from the schools back in the day. So again, in my opinion, it looked more like a mansion. And then our school colors was purple and white. So again, with all of the different names that I came up with, Purple Mansion was the one that stuck. And when I brought it to everybody's attention, everybody else also agreed that was a dope name. And that's again, from that point, we started to just blossom all over the place. And even when we didn't hear much about other schools till later, we still felt like, you know, Inglewood was kind of like one of the main stomping grounds for Chicago hip hop. Even though there were other schools throughout the city of Chicago, And we would only know about those schools based on WHBK when certain artists would go up to WHBK and they would represent their schools.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Inglewood, aka Purple Mansion. I love that picture too. That picture was actually taken during my documentary that will be coming out in the very near future. So that's a picture. That was the photo shoot during the documentary.
Gotcha. That's what's up. That's what's up. It's just so dope, man. So such rich history, such rich information, man. And I'm just so excited to see what you got planned for the future. But you mentioned WHBK. Speaking of which, I'd like to share a clip of you down actually at the radio station, and then I'd like for you to talk a little bit about the importance of WHBK. Let's take a look at this, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all feeling that Chicago?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Y'all claiming Chirac, but it's Chi-Town. Windy City, my town. Born and raised on the south side. As a kid, I played outside. Played in the park, played with the neighbors. Played against the ops, boxed the haters. Played plenty sports on many courts. Shots fired, all net scored. Live another day just to do it again. Walk around the block with a few of the friends. We had no worries. Have mercy. Cut the beef, cold turkey. Now shorties want to run around so thirsty. Hancock, but don't know Herbie. Now John Dirty, it's now John Doe. And bodies keep falling like snow flurries. So here's a clue to you cut plans. The modern day KKK. Kids killing kids. Every day sprayed. White sheets on that layaway. So you gotta respect those who paid away and made a way for you to later say there's a greater way, but you pay to play when you take them shots and fade away. I came to say ceasefire, y'all killing children.
Stop the killing.
It's a shame to say y'all keep firing, they building prisons.
Y'all see them.
And the lames who say keep quiet cause they tired of listening.
Stop talking to me,
I'm the
man.
same today when the heat rise, their lives are victim. Call me Mr. Club
Banga.
Banga. Don't get it twisted, slugs in the Banga. And I keep it in the crib just in case, gotta put it in the mug of a stranger. And I'm just saying, the smile on my face don't mean I'm playing.
Shot town, shot back. You can call it what you want, but I won't shot back.
Yeah.
Shy back.
Yeah.
Shy back.
Doing it live for you right here on WHBK 88.5.
Back.
Yeah.
Shy.
Come on, y'all.
Back.
Yeah.
Shy.
Back.
We want that shy.
Yeah.
Back.
Shy.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
Shy. Come on, y'all.
Back.
Yeah.
Shy.
What we want?
Back. We want that shy.
Yeah.
Back.
Come on.
Shy.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
Shy. Back.
Yeah.
Shy.
Yeah.
Back. We want that shy.
We ain't glorifying the shot rack, y'all. We want shot back. That's what it is.
Legends in the building.
Yeah, yeah,
Back.
yes,
Yeah.
sir, yes,
Yeah.
sir. So,
Shout out one time to the legends of Chicago hip hop, man. Shout out one time to my legends, man, my legend
yes,
brothers,
sir.
the
Yes,
legends
sir.
of Chicago hip hop, man. That right there, we basically, man, wow. It was time for us to kind of almost, well, not almost, it was time for us to go back to the PK. A lot of us hadn't been there for over 15, 20 plus years. And because of the movement, the Legends of Chicago hip hop, we wanted to come back to the birthplace of where we got most of our exposure from.
Yeah.
That place, WHPK 88.5 FM on your left hand dial, that place, man, if it wasn't for WHPK, I wouldn't have done a lot of the things that I've done in hip hop.
Yes.
You know, it encouraged me to want to take my music career further. It let me know that, you know, it wasn't so far-fetched away that I couldn't be like the artists that they were playing literally on the radio stations during that time. You know, the radio personalities there, you know, man, they were so helpful. They had a major impact, not only just me, but a lot of us. You know, I can pretty much speak for most of us, you know, even with Common, Twister, just to name them two and a few. That gave us that push because during that particular time, there weren't any rap radio stations in Chicago playing hip hop. And how I lucked up on that station was just me being me, scrolling down on the left-hand dial. Actually, no. Top Dog and Double C.
Okay.
They made an announcement that they were going to be on the radio, which was two of my favorite MCs, two of the three. Shout out one time to Big Red Ski, may he rest in peace. But Top Dog and Double C had made an announcement somewhere that they were going to be on the radio station, and I couldn't believe it. But then again, I could, because they were just that good. I'm like, man, these guys are so good. I want to hear them on the radio.
Right.
You know, so that particular day I tuned in, and rest assured, they were live on WHPK, rapping live. Like, it wasn't no cassette tape, it was live.
Wow.
And from that point, man, it triggered something in me, because I'm like, this guy, I go to school with Top Dog, man. Like, I know this guy. This is not a Curtis Blow who I don't know,
right,
and probably would never ever get a chance to know or whatever. But this is somebody who I personally knew. And from that point, man, it just inspired me to want to just, turn it up another notch, man. Turn it up another notch. So the opportunities to go to WHPK with open arms from the radio personalities, man, just made it. It just helped out the situation. It just helped everything out, man. It was. There's no words to really describe, in my opinion, at this time, what that did for most of us, man. Other than just, it was very impactful that platform allowed us, myself and many others, man, to expose our talent, man, to just get on there. And it was uncensored, it was uncut, man. We can get on there with profanity, and and that same day that Top Dog and Double C made the announcement that they were going to be on HBK was also the same day that I had heard other artists as well, but they weren't from Chicago, like Schoolie B, looking at my Gucci and stuff like that. So during that particular show, K Ill, who was the DJ that night, that Friday night, he was just rocking those classics. And so I just fell in love with that show that night, and I just fell in love with HBK. From that point on, man, I was like, man, I got to be on that station. I got to get in where I fit in. And again, that boosts up my confidence level, man. Like, man, like it can happen. And salute to WHPK, all the DJs from WHPK, K Ill, DJ Quick Hand, Chili Q, JP Chill, Tago, did I mention Ken Can?
Yeah, Ken Can, yes.
Ken Can. So all of the DJs, man, just thank you all for allowing me to come on the station and do my thing. And man, I must say, a lot of what you all contributed to Chicago hip hop has been instilled into me, and it runs through my blood. So, thank you all for the platform. I love WHPK, and I'm happy to hear that they're still doing things. They're still running hip hop. So, what I'm saying, that's big. That's big.
It is. So that leads me to my next question, because you mentioned earlier in the outset that you were trying to figure out, by looking at the vinyl that you had in your access, you were trying to figure out how you could get your voice on the vinyl. Let's talk about your first connection and getting signed to the label DJ International. We have a picture right here, and I'm going to take this title off at the bottom so people can see the bottom portion with the logo stamped on there.
Mm-hmm. No.
Tell us what this was like, man. This, DJ International Records right here in Chicago.
Yeah, that picture right there, man, is another one of my favorites, man. That classic picture there. Right before I got signed to DJ International, I was just trying to find my way going to various studios throughout the city of Chicago. And like I said, with me being a DJ, I would always look on the labels and try to find something that was local. So the first label that I located a local recording studio was actually Bob Murphy Studio, which was on 69th and Green. So, you know, with me saying, I think it was Get the Hope, Get the Hope. It was a house song.
Right, right.
You know, and, you know, I called the number and, you know, Bob Murphy answered the phone and I told him, you know, hey, you know, I'm a local rap artist. You know, I'm trying to make a demo. I wasn't even talking about a record. I'm like, I'm trying to make a demo.
Right.
I need a studio. So, you know, I went to the studio, booked my first session. And man, when I tell you studio time back in the days, bro, like his sessions, and he didn't cut back because me being a shorty, you know, he charged me like I was grown, like I just had a wallet in my pocket, man. You know, $75 an hour, bro.
Wow.
$75 an hour for studio time at Bob Murphy's, man.
Wow.
And I didn't have that. I didn't really have no money like that, man. But I found a way to make the money because I wanted to make a song. I wanted to make a demo. And then, you know, then again, I did want to make vinyl, you know, but before the vinyl, I just, like I said, I always had a fetish for recording, whether it was on cassette or vinyl, even video production, by the way.
Right.
But so yeah, man, I went in and recorded my first my first, not international, but my first demo, Get Up Off of That Thing, at Bob Murphy Studio. And then from that point, I made another song called I Like to Celebrate. And then in the rush part about it all, man, was that because studio time was like $75 an hour, we tried to hurry up and make a song within that hour, bro. Like $150 for 2 hours was like, it was just too much. It wasn't in the budget for a shorty, you know, 14, 15 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? So we tried to cram up all of what we could in that 1 hour to make a song. You know what I'm saying? So fast forwarding though, I was able to make a couple of demos from Bob Murphy Studio. And I was making a name for myself throughout not just the South Side of Chicago, but throughout the whole city of Chicago. So there would be house events, you know, given by J.R. Deontay, and it would be other promoters as well that was throwing house parties. And one particular day, they were having this party at the High Society. Mike Dunn and Tyree Cooper were actually the DJs for that night. And you know, it was a house party. It wasn't hip hop at all, you know, and you know, I wanted to rap, man. You know what I'm saying? My thing was, and don't get it twisted now. I was a fan and I'm still a fan of house music. So It didn't bother me that I was going into a place that was playing house music, because again, my dad was a DJ and he would DJ disco and house music.
Right.
So, but at some point I wanted to rhyme. It's a lot of people in dancing. Everybody been dancing all damn day. So they need to, you know, get a water break or something. This could be my opportunity to get on the stage and do a 5-minute performance. You know what I'm saying? Just 5 minutes.
Right.
But these house heads act like they didn't know how to sit their ass down, man. So they dancing all night. And Tyree and Mike Dunn ain't letting up, man. They just banging, hit cuts after cuts, just banging it. And I'm like, man, you know, so I'm like, okay. So I asked politely when, you know, I was like, man, you know, went to the DJ booth and I would ask him like, bro, can I rap, man? You know, like, can y'all take a break? Can y'all just take a 5-minute break, an intermission, man? Y'all doing y'all thing, but I want to rap, man. I want these cats. This is what I've been waiting on, an opportunity to perform around large crowds. And house music, house parties would have hundreds and hundreds of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is perfect. So moving forward, they wasn't trying to hit that, man. All they was trying to do was just bang the box from the moment the doors open to the end.
Right.
So, man, and I'm getting around to, you know, I'm just building up to everything. So At that point, man, I just stood in the front with my back up against the DJ booth. And, you know, I'm looking around and I'm looking at everybody just jacking their bodies. They just getting it, man. And what I would do was I would wait until Tyree or Mike, whoever was on the turntables during that time, and I would literally wait until the part where they're getting ready to blend one record into the next. And I would just kick the back of the DJ booth real hard, boom, and make the record jump. You know what I'm saying? It's messing up their mix, but they don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because the speakers, man, the bass in there is just hitting so hard that, you know, they didn't know what was happening. And I was just standing there with my arms crossed, man. You know, I was mad because, you know, I'm like, man, this is the perfect opportunity again. So they'll do it again. And by the time they get ready to blend another song out, kick the back of the DJ booth again. So long story short, they allowed me to get on the mic and I did my thing. And, you know, Top Dog, Double C, my Big Red Ski and myself, we started to get respect around that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We started to get some respect because I wasn't no punk back in the days. You know, I was like the Hulk. You don't make me mad because I'm about to tear the place up. And, you know, I had a reputation for like, you don't want to make JMD mad because you don't want to do that. Right, so I did have a reputation also, but, you know, that was, you know. So long story short, though, Tyree, later down the line, when I rapped and everything and everybody, we turned the party out. And then all of a sudden they started allowing us to perform, you know, during those sets that they would have at High Society. From that point, Tyree came to me and asked me, did I want to do a song with him? And I'm like, that's what's up. But it was house. It was house music. Is this too loud in the background? Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't really even hear nothing.
Okay, cool. So, you know, Tyree came to me and say, hey, JMD, I want you to rap on this house song. And I'm like, man, dude, I'm not finna rap over no house music, man. No, I ain't finna do that one. No, I ain't gonna do that, bro. He was like, man, trust me, JMD, trust me, man. This will be a good move for you, man. This is something different. I'm like, man, the name of the song at that time was this song called Turn Up the Bass. He asked me to do this song, this house song, rap on the house song called Turn Up the Bass. And I turned it down. I'm like, bro, I can't do it, man. I can't rap over no house music, man. I just can't do it. He was like, man, come on, bro. Trust me. Trust me. I'm like, I can't do it. So I turned it down. And I want to say maybe 6 months later, I heard Turn Up the Bass with an artist on it by the name of Cool Rock Steady. And they was playing that song on the radio station. Like, it seemed like it was beyond just the hot mix nights on Fridays and Saturdays, man. They started to play this song like in rotation, bro. And all I could do at that time was just shake my head, man, because I'm like, damn. And Cool Rock, you know, from that point, man, he was, you know, the song took off in the UK, you know, and like, you know, so I ended up signing to the record label. You know, I did do that. You know, Tyree, you know, introduced me to the executive producer, the owner of the record label that I was signed to at the time. And, you know, he was still trying to get me to get, you know, I wanted to do some hip hop. And like I said, I just didn't do it. And I turned it down, and Turn Up the Bass ended up being like one of the UK's hot classic songs to this day, man, by Cool Rock Steady. And I regret not doing it, you know, but the opportunity did resurface itself where Tyree asked me to do another song. And I was like, hell yeah, come on, let's go, man. Let's do it. Yeah, come on. You know, yeah, that opportunity presented itself, man. He was like, JMD, I got another song. Move your body. What you think? I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, I got you. Come on, let's do it. So that was my my promo picture that they had taken of me down on the record label DJ International. So that was my first promo 8x10 glossy, that right there.
Nice.
The only thing I didn't like was people used to always get me and Cool Rock mixed up. They be like Cool Rock. I'm like, I ain't Cool Rock, man. I'm JMD, dog. I'm JMD, man. So and they used to do the same thing, you know, with Cool Rock. They used to call him JMD. So we didn't like that too much, man, you know. But rest in peace, Cool Rock Steady also.
Word. Can we take a look at the video that you produced for those that may have not seen it?
Oh, Move Your Body?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Check it out, y'all.
This is Move.
Party people, it's time to get busy on the strength. So get with me. Here's the taste of the bass to keep you dancing. Something hitting hard like a cannon. Coming out just like I planned to. Real funky to make you dance to. Another jam produced by Tyree. Now get up and move your body. JMD got the fluid to do it. Now get hype and step to it. Move your body, take a risk. Cause the way I hit wallflowers don't exist. Turn it up, jam it to the max. And when it's over, play it back again, again, and again. So let's party, get in the groove and move your body. Come on, ride with the rhythm. Keep moving and let hip hop put you in the groove and take control of your body. Yo, I'm getting busy, no one to stop me. Let's see how hype you can get and watch you break out in a cold sweat. You know what time it is, so let's party, get ready and move your body. Coming out hard, I'm not tender. Kicking bass in your face like a ninja. Set it off, y'all, keep jamming. Get up and dance when this cut is bland. JMD, a port from Chi-Town. Or the mic here to make you get down with something dope. And not sorry, grab a partner and move your body.
Tyree Cooper, the prince of hip house. Get ready, cause I'm about to turn it out. Sit back, relax, and chill. Cause here's something that's so damn real. With the record that's proven and grooving and smoothing. To put you in the mood in. Don't worry about getting rowdy. Just dance and move your body. The DJ on the microphone, yo, this is a party record, so get up and dance and swing and strut. To you hip-hop people, yeah, y'all know what's up. Tyree and JMD, we're dropping flavor for you to savor. A spot in this whole damn party, clap your hands and move your body.
Wow, that was definitely a flashback there.
yeah, man. That boy, so many memories connected with back then, man. That's like, woo,
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
But you know what, man? A lot of people, believe it or not, man, that it's people that have been reaching out lately. I don't know what's going on, man, but a lot of people from the UK has connected with me and Tyree, and so we will be making some music again in the very near future. We've been talking. People been asking, are we going to do something together? And we decided that we're gonna reconnect and give them something. What that something is, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, man. And I'm just yeah, that was one of the best moments of my life during that time, man. You know, having the opportunity to tour the UK. You know, we did so many shows over there, man. I mean, the moment I got off the plane, now Tyree had already been over to the UK quite a few times. It was my first time over there, man. And we had did that video, and that was back in the days, man, where they actually had a video, the jukebox.
Yeah.
Didn't really get play on the jukebox. You know, they were really working hard towards trying to get it on Rap City. They did have a song that was on from the record label that made it to Rap City, but Move Your Body wasn't that song. However, I'm trying to figure out, okay, so who's gonna play the doggone video then? We just made a video where who's gonna see it? Not knowing that they sent the video over to the UK, and it was doing extremely well over there. Tyree, one particular day when we were at the studio, Tyree showed me the Billboard, and Move Your Body had made it like in the top 10 dance charts. Wow. And then, you know, he was like, well, you know, Jay, you know what this means, don't you? I'm like, what does it mean? He was like, man, we're about to go on tour. I'm like, what? You know, and at first I was like, okay, we about to go on tour, but how we gonna get there, man? Because I ain't like flying, bro. And when he was talking about it was like 15, 16 hours. I was like, I don't know about that tour, bro. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, hell no. He was like, Jay, I almost kind of reneged on that because he was like, Jay, trust me, bro. Yeah, I've been over there several times, bro. I'm still here. The plane ain't crashed, right? I'm still here, bro. And in my mind, man, I'm fearing the fact that I'm already in the plane. I'm gonna be flying over water. I can't swim. I'm just thinking the worst case of scenario or everything, man. I'm like, if the plane crash in the water, we over the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm just freaking out. He was like, Jay, you know, you're going to be all right, man. So I literally had to get intoxicated, man, to get on that flight because other than that, bro, I wouldn't have went, man. I just wouldn't have went. And that was the scariest flight of my life, bro, because again, when you're intoxicated, man, they won't let you get on the plane if you're that intoxicated, man. And you know, I look at my passport to this day, and I had forgot to sign it, so I had to sign my passport before I got on the plane. And and that don't even look like my handwriting. That's how intoxicated I was, bro. I'm like, that ain't even my handwriting. And real quick, bro, when I got on the plane, I was already knocked out. All right, so I don't remember nothing. But eventually, within that 15-hour flight, I woke up, right?
Right.
Bro, when I woke up to a lady that was sitting next to me, man, looked like she was about 300 years old, bro. Wow. Scared the shit out of me, man. She had to be some type of Indian or something, man, but she was old, bro. And she was staring at me, bro. She was just looking at, imagine waking up, you already intoxicated. You really you don't forgot where you at. So I done forgot all about where I was at. And I just looked over, man, and this lady was just staring directly at me, bro. So I screamed like a little, I was like, ah! So stewardess ran, you know, they was, you know, because I didn't see Tyree and I didn't see any of the other artists that was with us on this tour. I didn't see none of them. All I saw was this old lady that looked like she was 300 years old. I promise you, man, she just was scary as shit. She looked like a witch. She just looked like I'd never seen any person in my life that looked like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was scary, again, to wake up drunk and stuff. So the stewardess came, man, they had to calm me down. And then they told me that the other artists who we came on together with was just stretched out because we had pretty much had the plane to ourselves pretty much. So they was pretty stretched. They were stretched out in their areas and stuff like that. So I asked to be moved. So I went somewhere in the back and stretched out. But that's one of the, other than that flight, bro, that was one of the best times of my life. The opportunity, man, to just be overseas. And the moment I got off the flight, man, over there, bro, like people was running, chasing us, man. I didn't even know that. I'm still in awe because I didn't know that they was calling my name, JMD, JMD. And I'm telling Tyra, I'm like, how they know me? He was like, remember the video? I'm like, yeah. He was like, this is where the video came down here overseas. This been playing this. That's why they know you. I'm like, oh, so bro, we had bodyguards, bro. We couldn't go nowhere without bodyguards, man. They was chasing the limousine. We had to walk through crowds with bodyguards, bro. When I tell you these documentaries and stuff like that you see of New Edition and the Temptations and stuff like that, like literally, that was us overseas, bro. Like, I got tired of signing autographs. I was signing so many autographs, man. Like, I was signing autographs on people's skin. They didn't even care. Lady females be like, sign here. I'm like, sign there. They were like, JMD. And I'm like, okay. I get my little marker. I started signing. Look, I was signing my name real slow, like, you know, I started making the pretty letters, man. And I'm like, man, they were like, man, bro, it's like that over here. I'm like, wow. So I'm signing everything. He like, JMD, mate, could you sign my gym shoes, man? I'm signing gym shoes, and like, bro, I want to go back real soon. Tyree, get ready, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That must have been a great experience. It sounds like you had a lot of fun, man.
Bro, I don't know. I ain't gonna say I don't know why I came back, man, but I just wish, I look forward to going back real soon, man, because that's an experience, man, for any artist, man, that's out here doing music, man, to go from local, you got to go global, man. You got to see what it's like to be elsewhere outside from your hometown, where more people, believe it or not, more people would probably appreciate you more being outside of your own hometown. It's something about your own hometown. People, that's JMD, or that's blah, 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 that's blah, blah, blah. But other places, man, they love you, man. They respect you, man. They treat you like an artist, man, the artist that you are, man. And it's a good feeling to get that love from outside of the city. As much as you would want to get that love, that same love from your hometown, but it just seemed like, man, when you go other places, man, they just, it's more love coming from outside of your own hometown, bro. And it's crazy, but that's how it is, man. Nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, as you continue to develop as an artist under that title, under that name, JMD, you begin to constantly think and come up with other names. What was the next name that you kind of came up with that you wanted to classify yourself as an artist?
So after JMD, after that, man, some things didn't go so well after that first feature, because I was featured on the Move Your Body song by Tyree at that time. And then things didn't go well. So I produced my own song after that. I produced a single right after the Move Your Body single. Mm-hmm. And I produced a hip house single entitled Get Up and Dance. Get Up and Dance did very well over in the UK. And why the record label didn't push it like they were pushing the other artists on the label. They had an agenda, in my opinion, to only focus on the main two people that were their breadwinners at the time, and not really giving the other artists on that label the opportunity to do just as good, put the same energy, effort, money behind them artists as well. And I truly believe that if they had taken the time to put those things behind my song the way that they did with the main two artists that they did, it would have done even better. But it was kind of like, just to please me, they went on and released the song like, we just gonna release the song so JMD won't just kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we're gonna release it, but they didn't push it, they didn't promote it, they didn't do nothing. They just put it out, and it kind of self did what it did, just on the strength that when they sent it overseas, it held its own ground. You know, when they saw some DJs saw that a record was released, JMD, a new record, you know, it circulated overseas. You know, but again, they didn't do a video like they did with Move Your Body. You know, they just kind of like just threw it out there. So from that point, man, that was a discouraging moment for me when I just realized that that record label didn't have my best interests at heart, man. You know, and I kind of pushed back, because, you know, things started to be more exposed to what was really going on, and I just didn't want no parts of it. So I kind of pushed away and kind of like waited till my contract had just died out, and you know, that was it. But in the midst of that, it discouraged me to the point where, you know, I just didn't even want to do it no more, you know, because when I came back from the UK, the energy wasn't even the same. Like, imagine just going overseas, man, where everybody feel like everybody over there know you and they love you, you doing shows, and then you come back here and it's like, oh, welcome back home. It's, right, you know, the same, back to reality, you know, right, what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm literally thinking, okay, I done blew up. Cause overseas, I blew up. Like, right, I was the shit. You know, right, I was the Bobby Brown and the Michael Jackson overseas. You know what I'm saying? Right, thinking that when I came back to America, that I was going to get that same reaction from the people here. And you know, again, you know, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get off the airplane, man. Everybody gonna be like, JMD, none of that shit. I came in the hood, they go like, what up, Joe? You know what I'm saying? What up, nigga? You know, it was like, I'm looking like, nigga, I'm back. You know, none of that, bro. None of that. So it was like, you know, and then that just got kind of discouraging, man, because again, the record label, man, just, it wasn't for me, man. You know, I did it because at that time it was no other record label in the city of Chicago that was getting that type of exposure. Like, they was getting a lot of radio play. DJs was playing a lot of the songs that a lot of the records that was coming from the label. Some of those DJs were DJs that was on the radio. So, you know, it was doing well. You know, it's just that, again, they had an agenda, and apparently I wasn't one of the people in the plan, you know. So that discouraged me to the point where I just kind of like didn't even want to do it no more, because again, I'm back in the hood, you know, money, you know, was exhausted after the money from the tour was spent. You know, I'm thinking that the money was going to constantly come in the way that it did then, you know, from the tour. It didn't. Wasn't no more shows and stuff like that. So the song was being played in the mix. You can hear it in the mixes a lot. So they knew me that, oh, that's JMD. But you know, again, it wasn't many shows in the States, you know what I'm saying? And funds were exhausted. So man, I had to get a job, man. And it was an embarrassing feeling, man, to have a record playing on the radio, bro, and you flipping birds. You know what I'm saying? You flipping chicken at Popeyes, man. And then, you know, people come in, they like, they go JMD right there. And I'm ducking behind the damn chicken, you know, ducking behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody to see JMD behind a little chicken rack, you know what I'm saying? Throwing chicken. Can I get a 12-piece spicy? I'm in the back. Chicken up, hot mile up. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you gotta say it, bro. When they holler for the chicken, I need a 12-piece spicy. You gotta let them know, heard, 12-piece heard. So you hear the voice coming from the back. You somebody in the lobby getting some chicken. You might be like, wait a minute, that sound like JMD. You know what I'm saying? Is that JMD? JMD, is that you? That's you back there flipping birds, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that was an embarrassing feeling, man, to have your record played on the radio, man, and you flipping birds, chicken, and, you know, stuff like that, man. So that's embarrassing, bro. You know, I didn't get into that for that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you know, take me up. So let's move on, man.
Well, obviously, because the point that I was trying to get to was the other names that you came up with. So obviously, that experience kind of influenced you to kind of start building your own You know what I'm saying? You know, your own business and ways of creating a product or a service to sell to people that was interested in.
Yeah, so basically that part really again was discouraging for me to the point where I just stopped rapping for a while.
Okay.
And when I did that, it it created a void in my life. But I didn't even realize that that's what was going on. I just wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing what made me happy, man. Hip hop made me happy. Hip hop saved my life. It became me. You know what I'm saying? So when I pushed away from the label, it discouraged me to the point, not only did I not want to be a part of the label, I did not want to rap again. I was done. You know what I'm saying? So trying to move on, trying to find myself in this world without doing rap, man, I was kind of lost. So I was just trying to find my way. And, you know, doing that break time, you know, I got involved in a lot of different things that didn't make me really happy. So something sparked the fire up under me years later. And I was like, well, if I do this again, I don't want to come back as JMD. You know, that's gone. That's overdone with. It's a wrap. And then, you know, and I was trying to think of, well, what name can I come up with? And of course, different names was popping up in the head. And I remember when I was over in the UK, people would ask me questions, and I really didn't have I didn't have an answer. So I would be like, it was just an idea. So when people ask me things, it was like, you know, like, why did you do it? I don't know. It was just an idea that I came up with. So it started to click, like ideas. That way, you know, ideas that fits me. I'm always popping up with ideas. So that's how ideas was birthed. You know, I just came up with various ideas to the point where I say I'm going to call myself Ideas. I just wanted to spell it different, IDEAZ. So I'm like, okay, Ideas, that sounds dope. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I got back on the scene as Ideas, you know, and other folk were still JMD back on the mic. Get back. I'm like, man, I ain't JMD, man. I'm Ideas. I'm Ideas, man. So those people who didn't know me from the beginning, you know, of course they embraced Ideas because they never knew who JMD was. But those who knew who JMD was, it was still hard for them to call me Ideas. To this day, they like, JMD, you could be Mr. Club Banga, Mr. RYC Live, you still JMD, bro. So, you know, I get it, you know, because I do the same with artists too. I'm like, you're going to always be blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where Ideas came about. And during that time, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm coming back out on the scene now. And I made a video and a song entitled Rollin' and Give Me a Hole. And, you know, there was a video that we made during that time that was like, and I became Ideas in 95, but I didn't do much recording until 2000. And then in 2002 is when I started recording with Shadow, may he rest in peace, aka Rockwell. He wanted to form a group. And I was with other groups in between that time. I was with Lost Tribe, with Villain, and it was Villain, The Soul, Devo D, and myself. We tried to make some things. We tried to make noise during that time around 95. We made a little noise, but, you know, again, there was an agenda, and I just felt like once I saw how that was turning, I kind of, you know, pushed away, like, okay, I see what's going on. Then tried it again. You know, it's always things when people come together like, man, we can do this. It sounds good, but people don't, you know, somewhere in between there, things begin to make a different turn, you know, and then you're like, well, I thought we was doing this. Where did this come in at? So Lost in Tribe again, which was Rockwell, Adrian Robinson. I want to say rest in peace to him, because he was actually one of my best friends, you know what I'm saying, who he made his transition last year. And this right here is a photo of him. Again, he went by the name of Rockwell, aka Shadow, and he formed a group called Lost and Found Records, and he got various artists to be a part of a compilation album. And the producer was Danilo, formerly known as Slice, who did music for Verbally Diseased and many other Cold Steel and many other artists back in the day. So that project, we did complete the project, but the project was never released. And on that project is where those two songs that I made move. Actually, I Control Your Body, Rolling, and Give Me a Hole were the three songs on that compilation, but we never released that project. So that we broke before it even happened. It was gone. We made the project, and after that, something else happened, and I'm like, here we go again. It's always something,
Right,
just
right.
when you get ready to take that next step, somebody somewhere, something happens, and it just kind of like just destroy the whole plan. So it's like almost start back over again. You feel me?
Gotcha.
So so that was where ideas came from, and that's what ideas did within that time frame from 95 to 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how did the whole thing come to where you began to start? I know you mentioned in the outset that you were started off as a DJ, but later on you actually became servicing people as a DJ, providing mixes and making music and selling it. So how did that? And then you came up with another name. Can you tell us?
So yeah, so during that time, ideas, we would have the Buck Crew would have hip hop parties in the barbershop, which was right on 71st and Western. And it would, Raheem, Germ, and the Soul and Primo and the Buck Crew, Braves, and a lot of us.
Yeah.
I was actually just gonna just be the DJ, but people were still like, man, you ain't just finna call yourself a DJ and you rap. So I would rap from time to time. There would be events at the hip hop barbershop, Matthews Barbershop, and again, that was during the time that I was ideas. But as things started to kind of slow up, I started to think more on a level of knowing that the older I was getting, that the opportunities for somebody to put me on was no longer what it used to be as the youth, growing up, just assuming that you were going to be put on by somebody was going to say, hey, you hot, you got talent, let me invest in you, put you on. I just realized that over the years, in order for me to really try to make this thing happen, I was going to have to be the one to do it myself. But I also realized that I needed the funds to do so. So again, me trying to figure it out, I knew that working a 9-to-5, in my opinion, wouldn't help, because usually when you work in a 9-to-5, it's just enough money to pay your utilities and get you back to work for the next check. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to invest in my career with a regular 9-to-5. So I was just thinking of ways to, generate money so that, I could still have a roof over my head, pay my utilities, and also do what I needed to do to try to get me out in the studio and promote, market, do whatever I needed to do. So I was hustling CDs. This is when CDs was hot. You could sell CDs on the street for $10 a pop, and use 3 for $25. So I started selling CDs on the street, started making money. It was bringing in some nice income to the point where I was able to have an apartment and and invest in myself. To the point where I also ended up having a store. And when I got my store, I realized that, okay, I need to go legit, because I had got caught selling CDs. It wasn't good. I got locked up. They you know, it wasn't good. Let me just say that without going so far into details. I got locked up. And I realized that that wasn't the way to go, you know, but then I'm like, well, man, you know, to the point where I got sued, I had to pay restitution, but I'm like, I don't have a job, so how am I gonna pay this money? You know, where I'm gonna get the money from to do this? So I had to go back to selling CDs to make the money to pay for, you know, what I need to pay for. But I end up getting a storefront and started selling, you know, original music where I had to go through distributors and stuff like that. And also the other half of the store I was renting for barbers. I had booth rent. And the name of the name of the shop was Cuts and Cuts. So Cuts and Cuts was, you know, my shop, and I'm generating some nice income, and it's all legal and stuff like that. And you know, so now I'm like, okay, I can start to invest in myself. But people would come to the shop and they would buy CDs. Yeah, that's a picture right there. Cuts and Cuts, 2448 West 71st Street. I think that was it. I had 2 locations. And you can look right there. That's Derek, myself in the middle, and Deuce. Which those brothers are doing some great things. Those are entrepreneurs as well, and they're doing some great things. But yeah, this is one of the photos taken in my store where I sold apparel as well. So not only was it just music and barbers cutting hair, but it was also gear as well. But people would come and they would buy CDs, but then they would ask me like, hey, man, these some nice CDs you have, but do you know a DJ? I'm having a party, or I'm getting married, or I'm getting ready to do something. I need a DJ. So I would give them different DJs numbers and say, yeah, you go call them. They'll DJ your party, and they'll DJ your party. But I started getting the requests for DJs on a regular basis to the fact where, to the point where I'm like, I need to invest in me some equipment. I need to start back DJing, because I'm getting people coming at least 2, 3, 4 times, four times within a week. And then I'm asking these DJs, like, what are you charging these people for to DJ their parties? And they like, man, we charge about $500. I'm like, what? So, you know, I end up investing in some equipment, and I started DJing in the store. So when people would come in, I'm DJing and stuff like that. They're like, oh man, you DJ? I'm like, yeah, I've always been a DJ. I just gave it a break, but now I'm back on it. They was like, I'm gonna need you to DJ my party. So that went into me DJing a lot of parties. And then I had to think of a DJ name. So I didn't want to be Jackmaster Dion no more. I didn't want to be JMD. I didn't want to be Ideas. So I came up with another name. I said, I'm gonna call myself Jay the Magnificent One. And that was the name that I used, Jay. But, you know, people would say DJ Jay the Magnificent One, but I didn't really want people to really put the DJ in front, you know, because it was a different day and age where you was listening to cats like Bulu Master. So you don't hear people saying, that's DJ Bulu Master, you know, or Terry Hunter. They just say, you know, you're right. You're a DJ. So I went by the name, and currently I still go by the name Jay the Magnificent One for various things, but DJ being one. I started doing a lot of DJ events, and had the opportunity to start DJing at different lounges in the city of Chicago that took my DJing game to a whole nother level, to the point where I started doing production and making remixes to songs that to this day you go on YouTube and you hear Jay the Magnificent One. If you go on YouTube, you'll hear some of my mixes, and it was different genres, stepping. It wasn't just hip hop, but stepping, house music, line dancing. So you definitely check that out, Jay the Magnificent One. And Jay the Magnificent One did real good on when he got back on the scene DJing. You know, it's a whole lot of Jay the Magnificent One CDs out. They was burning my mixes, man, all in the Swamporama DJs playing my mixes, and I had my face on my mix. So I go up to them, and they not really paying attention to who I am, and I hear them playing the mix throughout the Swamporama, and I'll walk up and be like, "Man, how much is that mix?" They were like, "Man, it's one of the hottest mixes on the street right now, man. It's $10." So I actually had one that had my face on it, and I put it to my face. I say, "Well, how much is it for me?" He was like, "Oh man, you DJ J the Magnificent One." So yeah, DJ J the Magnificent One still in the building. Still got hot mixes out, and people still playing my mix CDs in there at their parties, family reunions, wedding receptions. Jay the Magnificent One. That's my other alter ego, Jay the Magnificent One.
Hey, let's give them a little taste of one of the pieces that you did, a house slide piece that I like to just let people hear a little bit.
So check this out. Right now, what you're about to witness right now is one of my masterpiece, one of my creations that I'm sure you all have heard it at somebody's party, at your party. But yeah, go ahead and roll and let them get familiar with who JMD / Mr. Club Banga / Jay the Magnificent One is. Go ahead and let them check it out.
Wow. Bro, you are something else, man. If you all didn't notice that every time we go, this brother is changing outfits. And I've been noticing it and just didn't get a chance to speak on it yet. But I hope y'all are paying attention to this interview.
Hey man, I gotta dress according to the alter ego. You know what I'm saying? I gotta dress according to the character. You feel me? So yeah. And then
Wow.
and then we start talking about whatever it is, so it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Interesting, though.
that right there was my magnificent Mississippi slide that I mixed. And man, when I tell you they played now that mix, I want to say is over 10 years old. And they
Okay.
play that mix at a party, man. No matter where you are, you play that mix at a party, man. They're gonna get up and they're gonna dance, bro. They're gonna
That's
dance, and it's just a good feeling, man, to be able to put the faces with certain stories and things like that. So people can be, they'd be like, oh, I never knew that. So it's just always good to put a face with the creations of things. It's we need to know. People need to know the faces and the names and the story behind these awesome stories, man. Just
right.
need to know. So, yeah, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. That's all. Yours truly, Jay the Magnificent One, aka Mr. Club Banger, aka Ideas, aka JMD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's up. That's what's up.
and
I
and I don't know if you've been checking it out, but this is like a back screen of like not all of, but a lot of performances over the years, which is what's been playing on the back of the screen. Usually, you know, a person may have a picture of themselves just in the backdrop, but I just wanted to, play a few of the performances during this interview, and yeah, it's still rolling, man. These are different shows.
can you show where the viewers can see it a little closer up on your cap? There we go. Chicago Ill Cipher.
Chicago Ill Cipher, baby, in the mix, in the
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out one time, man, to them Cipher OGs. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm just gonna hop into that, man. The Chicago Ill Cipher consists of open arms, man. Um, it's a lot of open arm projects that I have done, but this project was kind of re-inspired. I originally tried to put together a project where I would get a lot of Chicago artists on one song. And this was back when I was Ideas, and we did it with the Buck Crew. We had a song called 10 Motherfuckers, and that was unheard of to have um, a lot of artists on one song. So that was something that I wanted to do. I'm like, man, it'll be dope if all of us just on a song. And some people be like, man, that'd be a long ass song, man. You got all them people on there. But I'm like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just because nobody has done it to my knowledge doesn't mean that we can't do it. But I can go back and say that, with Self-Destruction and Stop the Violence, like those songs had multiple artists on it too. But this was something that I wanted to do, coming from Chicago, that had not been done, at least to my knowledge. And but we did it on the audio aspect of things. We didn't have a video to the song that we did. Excuse me. So again, distractions, things happened to the point where we just did the song, but that was it. No video was produced from it. And later down the line, or I want to say more so recently, I had seen and heard a project from the late DJ K Slate, who kind of reminded me of when I made the attempt to do it back in the days. But I literally saw the physical project of him getting all these MCs. I think it was like 50 strong was the name of the cipher. And that just inspired me, like, man, I remember I tried to do it, but I didn't do it, but now I can do it. So I reached out to as many MCs as I could to try to be a part of a cipher similar to what DJ K Slate did. I put the call out and just tried to get as many on the project as possible. I was able to get quite a few. I was hoping to have gotten more than what we were able to get, but it was still a good turnout. Got quite a few, and we did our thing, man. It was like, again, we couldn't stop. We didn't slow up. We were not really happy with the turnout because, again, we just felt that with it being so many artists from Chicago that we personally know, we just literally thought that they were going to jump down on the project so we can try to do something similar to what DJ K Slate did. But again, nevertheless, we still did it. And that was Chicago Ill Cypher 1. I don't know if you got it, if you're going to play it, if it's queued up. But if you have it, that'll be love if we can drop that Chicago Ill Cypher just so they can check it out.
We do have the promo of 1 and 2. If you all would like to check that out. For those that have not seen it, we do have it. Because once again, this interview is so impactful and full of stuff, and I'm trying my best not to rush through nothing. But yet it's we're coming up on a 2-hour mark, and it's still stuff we haven't even got to yet.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a lot. That's the reason why, there will be a documentary coming out in the very near future. But it was a must that, we at least had to get this interview out just based on a lot of unexpected things that's been happening. And God forbid something happen where I'm not able to, tell my story. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good start for the new year, 2023. And again, there's a lot more to my story that the world should know. And so you're doing a great job though, bro. I mean, I know, that you were bombarded with a lot of footage and stuff like that, but the way that the sequence of you format and everything is working out well. So, let's just go with the flow, my brother.
All right, y'all, check this out, man. This is dope. Let's check it out.
That's right, motherfuckers. We back in this bitch, repping the side.
Spectacular vernacular, flip styles like spatula. 8-ball, corner pocket, I drop shit.
Kicking in your dough like Rambo.
Negro, don't forget the mystery.
If I wake up MCs, then I put them to sleep.
Like 211 with pills in it.
But if they got body, they probably got bodies.
Starting to ass whooping, poisonous like strychnine.
Made in the image and likeness, my existence, the God.
The city of haters, shady behaviors, hugging us to their favorite.
I'm gonna lead us here, just to say the least. A&R's killing the game, now it's AR leaks.
I want to bring to you some lyrical demonstration and representation from some heavy hitter spitters. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, let me explain the situation like this. JMD, Mr. Club Banga, still 80s hot, and ain't shit sweet on the bars unless it's Bailey shot. Never will a hater have me acting out my element.
If you wanna battle me, I battle you. The only way you win, I've got on the side of you.
Straight to the point, 8 bars, metaphors, punchlines, and no mumbling. Shouts out to Chicago MCs, repping they city, showed up and showed out. Enough said and no excuses.
Yeah. So that was just a promo for 1 and 2. So can you tell the viewers what to expect? Because we understand that there was a third one, correct?
That's correct. Now, see, now you're talking to Mr. RYC Live. You know that,
right? Wow.
So that project, even though Mr. Club Bang is on that project was hosted by yours truly, Mr. RYC Live, from RYC Live. And that project, we actually have 3 ciphers, actually, with things that's been going kind of crazy but fast. The plan was to premiere the Chicago Ill Cypher 3 tonight. And so unfortunately, that will not happen tonight. But it's coming. It's coming within before this month is out. We're going to be dropping the Chicago Ill Cipher video part 3. And let me tell you, let me send some shout outs to my brothers that jumped down on the project. And I didn't want to miss no names, and hopefully I wrote it down. Yeah, I got to come off the top of the dome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna have to come off the top with this one here.
Okay.
So shout out one time. Don't charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart either. But those who did jump down on the project was Black Ice, Raheem, Uncle Hood, aka MCD, M Dub, L1, aka DLJ, Madman D, Doc Maninoff, True Son, Trent G, Vo got down, A-Tracks. See, this is where it starts. That's where I get. This is where I'm stuck now, because now I'm trying to think like, okay, Jern. Man, it's so many people did jump down on it. A shout out to Riot One, who did the track for the first cipher, Chicago Ill Cipher Part 1. Shout out to Shy Virtuoso, who did the track for 2 and 3. Shout out one time to Trill McCoy, who blessed it, the one and only Trill McCoy, the Kid. See, now the names are coming to me, the Kid. And again, I know I'm missing some more, but these brothers, they believed in the project. They jumped down on it. It's on all streaming platforms right now. All you have to do is search Chicago Ill Cipher. 1, 2, and 3 is going to pop up. When I tell you some good representation of Chicago hip hoppers on the lyrical side. Now, when people hear Chicago, now they don't think about the lyrical side of the MCs. They think about the drill, the violent content. They think about that's what Chicago has to offer when it comes down to rhymes, rap. But there are many lyrical MCs from Chicago who unfortunately and fortunately have gotten the exposure to let people hear that there are some dope MCs that's in Chicago. And this project, the Chicago Ill Cipher, again, with all open arms to everybody who wanted to be part of the project. All they had to do was just, follow up on the information that was provided, and they could have been a part of the cipher too as well. But again, we had to keep it moving, and the invitation for part 4 will be, that information will be posted. So anyone who missed out on the first 3 can jump down on part 4 and the others to come. So the project is dope. Go online, check it out, comment, let us know what you think. But, Chicago has a lot of dope artists, and that ain't even taking nothing away from the drill, because it's a lot of drill artists here in Chicago that spitters too. So shout out to my city, Chicago, for repping their city. You feel me? So, man, just keep up the good work. And it's, again, hosted by RYC Live. Yours truly, Mr. RYC Live right there. And my man, Artistic, you know what I'm saying? You in the video as well, part 3. Artistic is in the video, showing his masterpiece. So I'm looking forward, and I'm looking forward to dropping that real soon. It will be out soon, and we'll keep you posted. But it's hot. It's definitely hot, and you all should be bumping that this summer and sharing it to a lot of others, just letting them know that, man, it's some dope MCs doing their thing in Chicago.
So what was, for the viewers that may not know, what was the whole idea behind coming up with this name, Mr. RYC Live, and the representation of the top hat?
Well, when you start to learn more about the business, you realize that you have to brand yourself. You have to have a look. You should have a look. You should have an image. And with me having multiple names, and as you can see throughout the show, wearing many hats, I wanted people to be able to differentiate the character. You know what I'm saying? This is Mr. RYC Live. The top hat, the you digs. I call these my you digs. You know what I'm saying? The top hat. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. I was going to incorporate something, but I guess you'll see it at a later date and time. But Mr. RYC Live is the guy with the top hat. When you see the top hat and the you digs, that's me representing myself or representing as Mr. RYC Live. So that's it. Just the top hat. I don't want nobody calling me JMD or Mr. Club Banga or DJ J the Magnificent One when I got the top hat. The top hat is specifically for me being as a featured face in video projects here on the RYC Live show. When we go out and about and we repping our city and we repping RYC Live, this is the face. The top hat, the digs. Mr. RYC Live. Now, I'm not JMD, so if you call me JMD or Mr. Club Banger and I'm rocking, I'm Mr. RYC Live, I'm not gonna respond to you because that ain't who I am. But yeah, images are important. When you're branding yourself, your business, you want to make sure that you have a different identity so that people can they'll see you in like Ronald McDonald or the Colonel or whoever. You see him, you already know who it is. So make sure that you brand yourself so that your name can match up with your image. However you do it, just make sure that you have the two together so that people will know who and what that is. So this is the face, and you're the face. Your face is on RYC Live on your face. You're becoming the face of RYC Live, man. I might have to take my top hat off and give it to you.
Speaking of which, can we show a quick little clip of for those that may not have seen again, because I'm just trying to give a little overview of all of these segments that we're highlighting here. And for those that's watching the show regularly, you kind of know and been following us. But if there's anyone out watching it for the first time tonight, here is a RYC Live commercial promo that I like to share. Let's take a look at this.
Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city. I got you. Rep your city. I'm gonna tell you how mine. Rep your city. Rep your city. Rep your city. Okay.
The interesting thing about when we do these shows, because we have an interchange of knowledge being given to each other, and and that's what it's all about.
How do you feel about how Twin Cities support their local artists?
Hey, now, are you getting ready to go out, or are you going to bed?
No, this is for y'all. I did all of this for y'all. I did all of this for y'all. I got cute for y'all. This is an uncut interview, so I figured I would be kind of sexy in my little robe, feeling myself.
To the RYC Live. If you feel good, put your hands up high. And if you rep the hood in the city, this is your joint right here. No lie, no lie. Welcome to the RYC Live. If you feel
okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city. I got you. Rep your city. I'm gonna tell you how mine. Rep your city.
So for all those that would like, if you like the programming that we've been providing, please do send us any kind of monetary donations to our Cash App at RYC Live. That's RYC Live. You can send us monetary donations if you like the programming. And if you just like to show support and love, we'd be more than happy to appreciate that. So here we are back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's such a good feeling, man. Finally, you know, I had the timing to me wasn't right. I had a few people reach out to me to do an interview, and I just wanted to make sure that in addition to my past, I wanted to be able to mention some of the current things that I was doing. And for a minute there, I felt like I wasn't doing as much as I wanted to do. And so I just felt like, you know, I got some more things that I want to go ahead and promote, produce, and put out here, so that during the opportunity of doing an interview, it won't just be everything about my past. It'll be like my past and my present and the future. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that I had some things to announce, just like today. So my latest project, my latest single, is entitled "Work That Motherfucker," and I know we keep our profanity down here on the on RYC Live, but that's the name of the song, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if I sit up here and say "Work That Mother," then I'm not letting the people know exactly what the title is. So therefore, they'd be like, "Work that mother." He wouldn't say whatever that other thing was. So, so "Work That Motherfucker" actually. Without putting a lot of information out right now, because I've come to realize that that's something that I no longer want to do as far as putting out a lot of information, because sometimes it can go in a different direction. So you have to really be careful about what you put on social media. You know, you really have to be careful. Some people don't care, but, you know, I care. So I have to be really careful about what I put on social media. So with that being said, "Work That Motherfucker," which is my latest single. I wanted to do something different with my style of rhyming, and so that it can relate to not just Chicago, but it can be a different type of sound worldwide. But of course, Chicago would be able to identify some of the things that was mentioned, because, you know, I'm mentioning some Chicago things. So they would automatically know, man, that's Chicago right there. And for those who are not from Chicago, you know, it would be something that they would eventually learn. So that project, you could also hear it and go on all streaming platforms. Support your boy and purchase it, by Mr. Club Banga. But today, we released a remix version of "Work That Motherfucker," which is a dance club remix by D Beats, which again, formerly known as Slice from Verbally Diseased. So he actually did the remix, the dance club remix to "Work That Motherfucker." And again, it was released today. So check it out, support your boy. Go ahead. Again, it is on all streaming platforms. So go ahead. It's what, $1.40, $1.49. You know, go ahead, purchase it. For my DJs out there worldwide, not just in Chicago, for all the DJs in the world, for all the DJs, add this to your playlist and play this song in the club, at the party. It's a club banger. I'm excited about it. I feel good about this version, and so it's right now. It's on all. Thank you. It's on all streaming platforms. Work that motherfucker.
And with that being said, let's talk about this genius concept and idea of becoming what's now known to the world as Mr. Club Banga. So can you tell the people what, like, how did and why did that become important?
So you want to hear how Mr. Club Banger came about?
Yes.
So Mr. Club Banger came about right after Ideas. Okay, I'm gonna really speed this up. So Ideas. When I thought about Ideas, I also thought about bing, the light bulb that pops up over your head when you think about ideas, when you're watching commercials or some things of that nature. When somebody have an idea, that white light bulb, boom, that bright light bulb always pop up on the top of their head, right? So me being me, thinking outside of the box, I'm like, man, I wonder what it would be like if I just dyed my hair. And at that time, you know, I had braids down my back. And this was during the time I was Ideas. So the name Ideas really was supposed to go with this image of me having bright hair.
Okay.
All right. So Ideas, bright hair, bulb, light right there. There you go. So that's a picture of my son and my daughter and me in the middle as Mr. Club Banger with the bright hair. Now, my hair was supposed to have been looking like it was meant to look like a natural, bright, platinum, blonde. If I could have gotten my hair to color this shirt, the top part of this jersey, then that's what I was going for. Okay. White, light bulb.
Okay.
So by me never doing this type of thing to my hair before, you know, it had to go through multiple processes of bleaching. I had to bleach my hair multiple times to get it a platinum color. So the first time, going through the first process of it, because my hair was a virgin, it wasn't used to chemicals and stuff like that, at least not dye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had to do a strand test to you know, so I can see what my hair was going to actually look like. So when they did that test to bleach it, they were already telling me, you know, you're going to have to do it multiple times to get it again to the color you're trying to get it. But we can start off right here, which made my hair like a blondish color.
Okay.
And again, they had to mix these colors to try to get it to look like a natural gray. Because honestly, I wanted to, if I was gonna do it, I wanted it to look natural. Like I literally got a big natural gray, bright afro. So they was like, okay, this color plus this color is going to make it look naturally gray.
Right.
So my hair was blonde, and then they had this light blue. And it was like, when the two is mixed, it's going to give you that gray look that you're looking for. That didn't happen. That didn't happen, bro. That didn't happen. So when they did the two, my hair was literally blue. It was, and I only had two options because actually at that time my whole entire head was already blonde. And they was like, okay, so then we're gonna add the booster, however the beauticians talk big terms or however, they was like, we're gonna add this, but before we add it, let's test it first. So when they tested, it just didn't, it went from, again, blonde to blue. And they was like, well, this is what it's going to look like. So I had no choice but those were the two choices, blonde or blue. Okay. So I had to go with the blonde. And then they were telling me, like, you know, wait about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, come back, we'll apply another application on it. It will become brighter. You will be a platinum. It will be platinum blonde. It'll be closer to what you're trying to do. So, but that look was literally supposed to go with Ideas.
Ideas. Gotcha.
All right. The Ideas. So when people be like, you know, what's the Ideas? It's the bright light bulb Ideas. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You feel me? You know, but after I did my research to copyright my name, and to see that someone had already had the name Ideas, which, you know, because now I'm learning more about the business, I'm learning more about branding, and I'm like, okay, I got to make sure the name is copyrighted. You know, I'm for real about this. I'm getting older. I'm learning more about how this branding thing, how this thing's supposed to go. Right. It's not just all about writing rhymes and going in the studio.
Yes.
I need to get this right. So when I did my research to try to get ready to trademark my name, there was already a rapper, I think he was from Jersey, whose name was Idea. So that kind of like messed everything up. So I had to change the name. So again, I changed the name, you know, and I used different names to try to come up with, to try to make it coincide with the image or whatever, and it just didn't work. Ideas was like the perfect name for it. I wasn't finna be called MC Light Bright or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, they gonna put some respect on my name this time. I'm gonna be Mr. Whatever I do, I'm gonna be Mr. Because I'm, you know, we talking years down the line now. Years later, you know, I'm older now, I'm more mature now. So they're gonna put some respect on my name. I'm gonna be Mr. So, and then, you know, I got tired of kind of like really doing a lot of the stuff that I did back in the days as far as the rhymes. You know what I'm saying? It's like I wanted to go back to the JMD who made dance music. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was no longer about me trying to be the toughest lyrical cat that I used to be in the very beginning. You know, JMD, man, he just said some lyrical stuff, you know, and I see where it's going. We see where the industry is going, and I'm not going to dumb it down. You know, I still got to be me, but I just wanted to start making more club banging music, more so than the typical, you know, hardcore underground lyrical metaphors and stuff. I still do that, but I just want to move forward with making music. If I'm gonna use the name Mr. Club Banga, then I need to be making club banging songs. So the only time that I'm gonna go outside of that and just be lyrical, where just to kind of prove that I still got it. You know, sometimes you feel like you got to prove yourself to your peers back. You know, like, man, do you still got it? So that's where the bar hopping and stuff came in. I just wanted to. I'll do that with the cipher. Now the cipher, when we getting ready to do the cipher, oh man, we got to come with the whole you dig. We got to spit the heat. You know, we coming with it.
Right.
But outside of the cipher, man, I really just want to do club banging music, man. Just songs that people can really just vibe in the club to, man. That's kind of like where I am right now. And that's kind of like where my mind went to when I changed the name to Mr. Club Bang. I'm like, it's about just trying to make club banging songs. And even though I see was still some songs that weren't club songs that I did, that's the goal. The goal is for me to kind of like just make some shit that just banging in the club, whether it's medium tempo, up tempo, just long as banging, club banging music. So that's kind of like it, bro.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Can we take a look at one of your videos here as Mr. Club Banger? One of my favorites, Flipping the Frequency.
Let's go.
Frequency, hey, yeah, hey, I'm about to flip on your frequency, flipping it, frequency, flipping it, frequency, flipping it, yeah, flipping it, frequency. I'm changing your channel, I'm doing it easily, I'm giving you wisdom, and I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping a frequency, I'm flipping your frequency, I'm flipping a frequency, yeah, I'm flipping your frequency. I'm changing your channel, I'm doing it easily, I'm giving you wisdom, and I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping a frequency, I'm flipping your frequency, yeah, I'm flipping your frequency, I'm flipping your frequency. I do this for fun, and I do it for funds. Popping bottles and bottles now, used to be popping them guns. You ask why did I stop? I wasn't ready to go, cause I had visions of living in prisons, no business in sentence that row. But hip-hop saved my life, and niggas say yours. I paid my dues, you gotta live to pay yours. Now need I say more, you wanna even the score? First off with that beat in your chords, you say it's a hit, delete and record. Gone, rap's too plain so I fly over heads. Since rap done changed, many died over dreads. Social media got they eye on your threads. Now you want your Facebook, go live for the feds. I'm changing your channel, I'm doing it easily, I'm giving you wisdom, and I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping a frequency, I'm flipping your frequency, I'm flipping their frequency. Yeah, I'm flipping your frequency. I'm changing your channel. I'm doing it easily. I'm giving you wisdom. And I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping their frequency. I'm flipping your frequency. Yeah, I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping your frequency. How long I've been rapping? How long you been trapping? What's all of this flexing about? You should have gone into wrestling. What's all of this smoking about? What's all of the drinking about? Popping pills and sex and talk about brain. Here's something to think about. The cameras on corners, weather's getting warmer, but you're yelling and throwing up. Got them calling them coroners. Now you swarm the corners, join with mourners, wanna unite. When nothing was caught on the cameras, but we getting tickets with pictures for running the light. Something ain't right, like touching the knife, playing with swords, got you cutting your life. Some trouble come easily, repeatedly if it's illegally. Repeatedly people proceed to be greeted with evil be. Frequency, I'm changing your channel. I'm doing it easily. I'm giving you wisdom, and I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping their frequency. I'm flipping your frequency. Yeah, I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping your frequency.
Yeah. That was Mr. Club Banga.
I'm flipping the frequency.
And hey, look, that was the short version.
Yeah, that was the short version. Yeah, that was the short version right there, man. I had to flip the frequency, man, with the behavior, man, of violent behavior that's going on, and just try to remove that negative behavior and all of those things from the youth, or not just the youth, just the mindset of a lot of people that's just violent, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know no other way to put it. Just the violent behavior, man, just to kind of remove that way of thinking and put some positive things into the brain, man, and flip the frequency, you know? So originally that track was one of the tracks that I wanted to do with the Legends, and it didn't work out. It was something a little different. The frequency of the music was kind of different from what they were used to rhyming to. And I was like, man, bro, y'all don't see what I see. Y'all don't hear what I hear. I'm like, man, this right here is the banger. I say, well, if y'all don't want to do it, I'll just do it. I'll just solo it out, you know? So wow. That's what I did. You know, I went on and did my thing on it. And I just felt like that's the way that we need to really reach out to the younger generation now, is to be able to do something on their frequency. Like literally, if we were to go back into the days of doing certain things that rhymes over certain beats that they're not kind of like listening to, then that's not to say that they won't listen to what we used to listen to back in the days, but it's kind of like I wanted to get on their frequency so that I can get their attention. Once I got their attention, then they would pay attention more so to the content that was on the track. Right. That was the strategy. The strategy was, you know, with me working into Chicago public schools as a disciplinarian, I wasn't the most liked person in the school as a disciplinarian. But at the end, I was like, what was that? Lean on Me. Mm-hmm.
Joe Clark.
Joe Clark. I was like a Joe Clark. You know, they didn't really like me too well when I first came into the school, but you know, I would sit down and we would do restorative justice. We would do a peace circle, and I would have to sit down and listen to, you know, what made them do what they did, and we had to restore their behavior. We had to get them on track. So I'm like, I need to do something that's gonna kind of again get their attention and put a message in it to the point where they will want to listen to it. So from there, I started to do other songs like that, where I just felt like it was more so on their frequency, and then kind of like start to add more production, not just from their frequency, but from our frequency from back in the days. But that was the plan, and it worked out well, extremely well. So for those of you who are tuned in right now watching it, this is actually Flipping the Frequency is actually a short movie. It starts off like a movie. That part of what you just saw with the video, it comes in the middle of the movie, kind of explains what's going on, and then it goes right back into the movie, ending with the movie. And that was something that God kind of like put on my heart to do. It was like I need to reach out to the youth in a way that I feel like they're gonna really sit back and they're gonna learn from not just the lyrics but the vision of it as well. So that's what came out of me, man. And a lot of people shared. They pretty much just basically said that was one of my best projects right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. And so I'm switching it up again. So like when we came back, I had the surgical glove.
Yeah, I
You know
see.
what I'm saying? So that's what it is. I'm still trying to get into the character of every segment. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
that's what it is. Y'all check out Flipping the Frequency. It's also on YouTube. Flipping the Frequency, Mr. Club Banger. Check out the whole flick.
And it's interesting that you really try to live up to what you preach. You mentioned working with the kids, and that's kind of one of my most admirable things that I look at you as, a good figure in the community. In fact, this picture here is a nice, very nice shot of you and several kids here. Reach one, teach one, and you've worked with organizations such as the Legends of Chicago Hip Hop and going throughout communities, helping the youth and just anyone in need, which I think is another admirable act. Like that's, sometimes people talk that stuff when they get in front of a camera, but doing it out and from behind the camera is a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? When situations call for it, you have kind of proven you that type of person to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think even with one of your other projects, song and video project with Drill Lane Hip Hop, involving all these kids and showing how hip hop is supposed to be about having fun, being creative. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the messages that they're putting out today with the violence, and promoting all this death and anger and all negative energy,
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with that being said, it's supposed to be all in entertainment anyway, because they have the same thing when it come down to movies.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel, play the bad guy, but then he play the good guy. It's all entertainment, but they've taken it to another level where it's kind of like gang banging on wax now. It's like they're really doing these things, you know what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate part about where hip hop has what hip hop has become. And we're hoping that, we can take it back to the essence, because again, drill ain't hip hop. Is just self-explanatory. It is what it is. When you say hip hop is love, peace, unity, and having fun. Drill is the total opposite. So that's the reason why it's drill ain't hip hop, because if it was, I mean, it's just self-explanatory. Drill ain't hip hop. People say, well, drill is hip hop. Well, it falls under the umbrella of rap, but hip hop is its own thing. You know what I'm saying? It's love, peace, unity, and having fun. Yeah. So if what you're doing is the opposite of this, how can it be hip hop?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had some debate going back and forth about the title, but when people literally got a chance to see and hear the song, other than just hearing the title and just blowing up about the title, they got more of an understanding of what I was actually saying, and it was I was featuring another legend, the one and only Mugshot, Nelio. So and that project, Drill Ain't Hip Hop, is also available on all streaming platforms as well. It's an EP, consists of 4 songs plus an intro. Drill Ain't Hip Hop, Flipping the Frequency, It's Over, and No Bang Bang. Now those 4 songs right there, that whole entire EP is an EP that you can feel good about playing in the presence of any family member in your home. You don't have to worry about any profanity in it. You know, you can enjoy it. Not only the youngsters, but the adults can enjoy the quality of it, the content of it, the sound, the groove. You know, so that's that's a project that I'm really proud of myself in putting together, because again, the radio stations play it. You know, I've been getting support from some radio stations who play it in rotation. You know, even whether or not they're big station or college station, but the fact of the matter is that they are showing support. And not only that, but how can you be a radio station that have drops about stop the violence, do not shoot, put the guns down, and then right after that same drop commercial, you're playing a song that's talking about putting, you know, murking somebody, you know, putting 3 to the head, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. Like, I don't get it. I get it, but you all should get it,
right?
You know, yeah, come on now. You know, you're gonna tell somebody don't do this, and then in the same breath do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, some of these stations, you know what I'm saying, I can care less if they play my songs or not, because we already know what their agenda is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do what's led, where I'm led, and what's on my heart, because I do feel I'm gifted, and I do feel like God is using me as a vessel to reach and teach. So, you know, I'm not just putting just any type of blah, blah, blah out here in my music. You know, you can learn and you can appreciate the music. And again, you can play it around your grandmother, your mother, your father, your kids. And you don't have to worry about turning the doggone volume down after every 3 words, you know, to the point where you can't even enjoy the music.
Yeah.
So again, Drill Ain't Hip Hop, you can check it out on all streaming platforms. And you know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost much. Go ahead, purchase it. Leave some comments on the page, Facebook page, TikTok page, Instagram, Mr. Club Banga. Check it out. You know, all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, we're going to be concluding in a short moment. But before we do, I want to show a couple more clips to really kind of bring it home, to highlight your personality as an individual, which is definitely well-rounded. You know, many people love you. Many people love the creativity that you display, and it's going to show in these couple clips that I'm going to show. And then when we play these, I want to come back and just get your concluding remarks. You know, what you like to give, what kind of advice you would like to give to people up and coming, and just in general. But let's check this one out. This is this one is a short one, but you all will get the point when you see it. Check it out.
Local to global feel.
It is I, says me. Triller for real and Mr. Club Banger. Yeah. Best believe we did that. That's right. We on our A game, baby, like the honor roll class. You did.
Let's get it. The name of the song about this video title, I done it. Is to let you know most of what you doing, I done it. From a kid, ring a bell, so fun to run and I done it. The growing up, throwing up gang signs, yeah, I done it. Even when you believe it that you the only one that's done it. If it's about this ratchet, I already done it. Made moves, slave crews, paid dues, done it. Still in it, that many motherfuckers that had done it. We could even take it to hustle because I done it. Collect cans, rake leaves, shovel snow, done it. Shine shoes, buy booze, the hooligan, done it. So old, the blows, coke, throw, done it. Won't even rap about it if I haven't done it. Wish I could say the same about the force and it done it. Wanted to become a DJ, how I done it. I pieced the equipment together to doing and done it. Thought about taking it to another level, done it. Be number one in this rap shit, whoever done it. Entertain those who never but never done it. So I made hit records who had overseas done it. Many of you mimic styles after someone's done it. Afraid to be original even when no one's done it. And after this you're gonna want to remember who done it. I'm not about it, I wanted it, thought about it and done it.
So when I think about JMD and what stands out to me about him, this brother always wanted to be the first, you know, as far as the first to do this or the first to do that. And we followed his lead, you know, because we looked up to him as a big brother. He was a little bit older than we were, and he had more knowledge of a lot of things than we had at that particular time. And so when you talk about opening up doors, when you talk about doing things, this brother was one of the first brothers that I saw going into the schools and doing rap mentorship concerts for the schools. I remember going with him to Oglesby School. Later on, I began to do what he did because of what I saw him do. Rapping on the L. This brother, as far as we know of, was the first to do it. And because he introduced it to us, we followed his lead and we began to do what he was doing. When it came to hip house, this brother was one of the vanguards in that. He was one of the first to do it. And as a result of that, many of us even tried to do the hip hop or the hip house thing, or, you know, the faster rapping. So to me, the brother JMD has always been a vanguard, you know, and the movement of hip hop, and not just hip hop, many other genres.
I came to say, ceasefire, y'all killing children.
But hip hop saved my life, and niggas say yours. I'm flipping their frequency. I'm flipping your frequency. I'm flipping their frequency. Yeah, I'm flipping your frequency. I'm changing your channel.
So what's the difference from drill and hip hop? Hip hop ain't drill and drill and hip hop. No.
Drilling is killing us like fast food.
Me nigga. Me nigga. It's that nigga Big Earn. Some real niggas. Resky. Legend. I blaze up 8 in the morning, challenging the storm, waiting patiently for the brain to transform. Gangsta magic. I wash, change to a fit, jeans and kicks, fresh red ones on some gangbang shit to hit the streets. Mobbing with my niggas cause we the deepest. I mean, I'm 7 live beats in the air. Jeeps head for beaches, rainbow the 31st in the shot. Can't tell you when WI hollering at hoes while we howl for fight, screaming like we trying to wake the dead. While pussy ass niggas come around trying to break some bread. We hooligans, in and out, we like them gangs in New York. Twist and bend you down, nigga, like we do them for. Organization affiliated, apart and posh, call me the lawman. All that bullshit is getting squashed. I'm about to lay it down like 7 scenes. Word is bond. So if you small fish, I suggest you stay in the pond. This that hot for the club shit. Smoke a dub shit. You gon' love this. Straight out the street. Some more that thug heat. So wanna know where the nugs is. Five drugs is right here with Big Easy. This that hot for the club shit. Smoke a dub shit. You gon' love this. Straight out the street. Some more that thug heat. So wanna know where the nugs is. Five drugs is right here with Big Easy. Goodness gracious alive. It's like you headed for a hive. A fucking 1,000-mile killer be tongue. How you gon' drive with your top down? Banging side to side, you fried. Already know the end of this flick. Homie, you die. Your balance is overdue. Writing checks, your ass can cash, got you overdue. Cause the Mike to Aunt Alice gon' be crying over you. Slayed in the midst of the great General Earn. You know what was coming. So
who is it? Mr. Club Banga.
Wow. Hey, bro. I mean, I've watched that a couple times, you know, to be honest with you. And even just right now, that clip is 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And it is just amazing to see all the people that you know, all the people that you have worked with. I mean, not just from that video, but from the previous clips with the youth and to your peers, such as Big Red Ski, you know, that's no longer with us. I mean, just all of these people that you have touched, you know, in their lives and in your own life. I mean, the legends. We talk about the legends of Chicago hip hop, but that was the legends of just hip hop in general in this last clip. And I mean, just 3 minutes and 49 seconds of it, man. And that's just, I mean, you know, like some people still dream to just meet some of the people that you have come across in your path over the years. And it's just, it really personifies the essence of what hip hop means to you in your heart. And, you know, just being an artist in general, what that really means. This whole interview tonight has really kind of, and again, we've just, this is, in my opinion, is kind of like a fraction of what you've done.
Yeah.
And yet, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. That's why I wanted to kind of conclude with that last clip, because I just think that really kind of brought it home with the impact of showing some of the people that have went on to become very successful financially and as just artists. But yeah, you've come cross paths with them. You've rocked on stages with some of these people. You know? And that to me, bro, is, if people try to say, hey, you know, I'm still trying to get to where I want to go in terms of being successful. I feel truly, you know, and I know you still feel like, you know, you working on achieving more because you're not done. But I still think your life has really kind of encapsulated success even at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking about, because to me, success is about the things that you do, not necessarily, you know, what you got in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? I know that's important, but really at the end of the day, what you've done and the impact that you have had on people, to me, is what success is all about. And I just want to tip my hat off to you, my brother, and salute you, you know, and your family, you know, and the people that have kind of been by your side to help you get to the point to where you're at right now. Despite some of the setbacks that you may have had or you may have felt you had in your life, to me, bro, you're still successful. I mean, this is proof right now. We're on an interview that has just it's coming up on a mark of 3 hours, and you guys still haven't seen everything. So that's why the documentary is so important. I look forward to you producing this documentary, because so many people are doing it now because they see the need and importance to share their stories with the world before they can't do it anymore. And, you know, hey man, this was just a kind of a look into a little sneak peek of what's to come.
Yeah.
So what would you like to say in conclusion, my brother?
Well, man, you definitely have a way with words, man. You know, I'm sitting up here listening to it and not even realize that you talking about me. You know, and I'm saying that because, you know, when you're used to just being you, you don't really see all of that. You see the fact that you're just doing what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and on the outside looking in, that could be a lot in the eyes of others. But if it's a part of your makeup and it's who you are every day, you know, sometimes you don't see it like everybody else see it. And, you know, I'm sitting up there like, man, and it sometimes it take others to kind of like remind you of the things that you've done, because again, when you're used to it, you just kind of like just go with the flow, and you know, and sometimes you just have to really sit back and kind of listen, you know. And like I was saying, with me just sitting here listening to you as you said that, I'm like, yeah, he right. Like, damn, I've done a lot, you know, and I've met a lot, met a lot of people that, like you said, people, you know, could only imagine taking photos with, or places to even be, you know, being over in the UK, you know, having these experiences and opportunities, you know what I'm saying? So it's an honor, man. Not only, I mean, this is the first show of 2023, RYC Live, first
Yep.
show of the new year.
Yep.
And I wanted to make it special, and I knew that it would be special regardless of what date we decided to go with. I knew that it was going to be special, but the way I do things, I always really think things through as, as strategic as possible. And, I aim for perfection, I aim for perfection, that's just me, a perfectionist. And I'm still not 100% satisfied with the things that I do. I always feel like I could do better. And when I heard Michael Jackson say that, when I heard him literally say that in an interview or something, like, it was like, man, I feel him. I understand. It's like, I always feel like it could have been something extra, something extra. But then someone told me, like, man, that little thing, sometimes people won't even miss it, and you don't want that little thing to hold you up, because it's so minute. But and that's been a struggle. That's been a challenge of mine, to the point where I could have produced and done a lot more than what you've seen, what you witnessed, what everybody else has witnessed, due to that one little thing. Like, man, if I could just try to take that advice and utilize that advice, it would help me again to do a lot more than what I've done. So that's me working on me right there. I typed up a few things, man, because when I look at interviews, no different from an interview when you're going to a job. You got to be ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't take things lightly, you know what I'm saying? And I've learned over the years of just maturing that, don't take nothing for granted.
Right.
And so, when it's time to do things, and I guess that's why I do stand out in certain areas, because I take the time out to do it, because I feel that it is a representation of me. So when you're going on a job interview, you're not going on a job interview bummy, you know what I'm saying? No briefcase or no paperwork, no resume, no pen. You got to come to work like you want the job. You come prepared for the job.
Right.
So this is still a part of the job. This interview is still a part of the job, in which, I, again, felt like I wasn't at my peak or my best is preparing for it. And I probably would never feel that way, because just right at the beginning of this interview, I was still trying to do some things. I just need to stop. I need to stop, sit down, and get ready for this interview that's getting ready to start in the next 3 minutes.
Right.
All the way up until the point where I just needed to sit down because the countdown was coming. During the countdown, I'm still trying to, it's like, I just feel like there's not enough time.
Yeah.
But, I had, excuse me, acknowledgments, man, because again, acknowledgments to me are very important. As you can see right behind me, my wall, and this is not even half of what awards that I have. This is a stationary camera, but I have awards up here. Certificate of recognition is being presented to me from the Shy Rock Nation. There's other things on this wall that's not in view of the public right now. These are, again, just a few awards and trophies honoring me and my contribution to music and the art of hip hop. It's been a really challenging year for me this year, because I lost two of my best friends. That really hit me. That really hit close to home. And there's a lot of things that I would do and share with them, and now it's like a void. And so I'm trying to fill the void and still move on because I know that this is also something that they will want to see happen. So here's a picture of my other best friend who was also my best man in my wedding. John Jones. He actually passed 5 months exactly on the same date as Adrian, 5 months apart, man. And then Amin Ra, may he rest in peace. And then my president of my social club, HOC, Honor Our Colors, he passed. Uh, it was just a really tough year for me, but at the same time, I released some songs, and so it's kind of like you just have to find a way to balance things out and just live life to the fullest. So in closing, I just wanted to acknowledge a few people, and I knew that if I didn't type them up, that I will forget some names. And again, I'm almost 100% sure that I'm still gonna forget some names, but I wanted to prepare for this interview in this particular state as far as just acknowledgments. So I do want to acknowledge the producers that I've worked with over the years, such as Bob Murphy, Leonard Murphy, Tyree Cooper, Doc Jose, Waxmaster, Soundmaster T, Hard Knocks, Fast Eddie, Riot One, Bricks, Illinois, D Beats, Mugshot, Scooby Snacks, and Shy Virtuoso. Those are the producers who I've worked with over the years, and I just wanted to, acknowledge that and give them my flowers, give them their flowers, and just let them know that, I appreciate, working with me. I know sometimes I can be a little challenging, but again, I strive for perfection. Also want to send a shout out to, DJ iMac, We Are Different, some projects that we're working on coming soon. The singers who I've worked with over the years, Gene Porter, who may rest in peace. He was one of the singers for Men at Large. He actually sang on my Get Up and Dance when it was the hip hop version of Get Up and Dance that was never released. So much respect. Shout out, may rest in peace, Gemini Gene. That's what I call him. Y'all better not call him Gemini Gene. Matter of fact, you all call him Gemini. That's who you all know him as, Gemini. And so he was a really good friend of mine. Also Linda Rice, who's the female singer on Get Up and Dance. Those are the vocals of Miss Linda Rice, who was one of the artists down there at the label that I was signed to in the early years. Monica Perry, who did vocals on my song Get Up, I Control Your Body. Shorty Mac, who's the male singer on It's Over, taken from the EP Drill Ain't Hip Hop. Tasha Charleston, who is actually going to be, you'll hear from her on the next release that's coming out in March 4th to be exact, March 3rd or 4th to be exact. I'm releasing a new song, so you all get ready for that. And Sean J, my cousin, who was also featured on a song that I have not yet released called I See Me in Your Lips. So acknowledgements, again, are important. So special thanks to my wife, Alicia, my parents, my children, Torrance from a bird's eye view. He's been, that's my buddy, a videographer, man, that's doing extremely well. He's doing this thing, just capturing the whole city of Chicago pretty much every time I look up. Or I see him, doing this thing. So shout out to my man Torrance. Those who honored me with the plaques and the certificates and trophies. the Impact Trophy Award, the Rap Battle Award winner, Most Supportive Text Team Award, the 2015 Producer of the Year, Legends Award 2016 and 17, Artist Appreciation Award for Video of the Year 2019, Certificate of Recognition Award again from Shyrock Nation, the Zach TV One Award in 2020, the Lifetime Achievement Award, Legends Hall of Fame Award, Dub C's Entertainment Award, Black Ice Production Award, the award from Howling Moon plaque, the Howling Moon plaque. I'm just trying to make sure I get everybody. OSD Award shot from Chi-Town Hustlers, Balling Out of Control, MOE, Mystique Ladies Trophy, Focus Council, RYC Live Team. It's just a lot of people who I didn't want to not mention. And again, it's so important that you mention and let people know that you appreciate what it is that they do. You know, they don't have to do these things, you know, as RYC Live, as yourself. I appreciate the fact that you have been really dedicated, committed, and to RYC Live, to the team. And I just want to give you your flowers, man, and say thank you. Much love and respect. I love you. Thanks for your time. 3 hours and 8 minutes to be exact on this interview. And again, all of you who have supported me throughout my career, I want to thank you all so much. Continue to support me. I got a saying that I say, it don't stop till the casket drop. And that's what it is, you know. I'm going to do this hip hop thing. It's my blood. It's in my blood. So for those of you who are doing your thing, you know, let me just tell you to stay focused, stay consistent, because at some point, you know, behind anything that's consistent will be successful. You have to just wait for your season. Even when you feel like you're ready, it's your time. It may not be your time, but don't get discouraged. Continue to strive. Continue to do the work, you know, even if it seemed like years and years have went by. If you believe enough in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, again, who will? So you have to be that one that's going to take that extra step and show people you're not playing. And that's it, you know what I'm saying? So continue to keep up the good work, you know, work hard work pays off. Don't stop, just keep going, you know. And man, again, thank you all for tuning in to RYC Live. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's show on Fresh Fridays, hosted by yours truly, Artistic. Man, and for those of you who stayed in and watched this whole 3-hour interview, I love you. Thank you. Because apparently, you know, I have a story that was that interesting enough for you all to stay on. And I hope that you were all entertained by the story. And again, stay tuned for the near future for my documentary. And if you like this interview, you're going to love the documentary, because there is some live footage that wasn't shown here tonight, but it will be shown in the documentary. So that's that. Happy New Year. Happy 2023 to each and every one of you all. May you have a blessed, prosperous new year. And that's all I got to say, man.
Word.
That's all I got to say.
So we want to thank everyone for tuning in once again, for watching us here live on the set, RYC Live, Rep Your City. We'll be back again next Friday with another episode. I'll be interviewing one of my homegirls originally from New York. So stay tuned for that next Friday, 8 p.m. And until we meet again, don't forget to rep your city. I'm Artistic and I'm out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.